Cheers to you, dear listeners, and welcome to Metal Gear Mondays, the most thorough Kojima-themed podcast on the internet. I am your host, Sam Wright. What this creepy, this creepy. We
it's
did
Halloween in May.
We did a feedback poll, and one of the feedbacks was Sam needs to be a spooky guy. That's not true.
Spooky,
That's not true at all. I'm
Samuel.
That's not true at all. But I am. What is true is that I'm joined by a ragtag bunch of fucking assholes. Starting with
don't loop me
Cole
into that
Duncan.
trash.
This game gave me night terrors. I hate it. Thanks, Warren.
Night terrors, and the only one of the assholes isn't an asshole. Chris Hampton.
What's up? It's Dad. Dad's here.
Dad's home, and ranging from most to middling asshole. Depends on the day. Zach James.
Oh, you really mean it?
No.
Yeah, you're a middling asshole.
Doesn't.
It's me, the middling asshole.
Yeah.
Zach was that kid in school who got other kids in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. He sure was.
Actually, I was the kid who took the fucking fall.
No one will tell on you.
No, I was the kid who took the fall because I was like, I just want friends.
Yeah, that sounds like me too, but it never worked. Oh, sad day. We are here to talk about our shared nightmare.
Yep. Sure are.
We've kind of done a little bit of a mini cyberpunk-ish deal right now. So we watched Blade Runner last time, obviously. Mm-hmm. Had a good time doing that,
and then doing that, and then
and a really
yeah.
And then this.
Then this.
So,
which I simultaneously love and loathe.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I completely agree.
Oh, it's kind of a masterpiece, I think.
Well, we'll get to the talk. So I wanna kind of do a little short, truncated timeline about like how we got here.
Sure.
Why are we playing Observer?
Sure.
We're a bunch of soft boys.
Nancy boys.
Self-proclaimed Nancy boys.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed soft angel baby boys.
Yep.
And we were kind of like when we were like fishing for what kind of stuff do you guys want to hear us talk about on the podcast? In the Discord, patreon.com/MetalGearMondays, one of our I can't for the life of me remember who brought this up. It wasn't Warren, but it was somebody else who brought it up. That Observer was a game that was kind of loosely tied to Blade Runner.
Wasn't
in a
it
way,
Chad?
it's a very. Was it?
I believe so.
It might have been. I don't know. We'll see. Whoever it was, chime in. We'll give you credit in the second episode. But somebody brought it to our attention that Observer is kind of loosely tied to Blade Runner. There's this big cyberpunk world. It's very thematically in tune. Main character is voiced by Rutger Hauer, who we love.
Which I did not realize until Cole brought that to my attention.
I can't believe you did not know that.
It just added a whole nother layer to me loving this game.
Mm-hmm. So we're just like, oh yeah, we'll play Observer. And then we realized it was a horror game.
Yeah.
And we were going to kind of delay it as long as we could. But
I went from jazz to in about 0.2 seconds.
Well, I think it's important to note that Cole was probably so jazzed in the beginning because he was ready to put the horror of Death Stranding behind him.
Cole was ready to do anything but play Death Stranding. What he didn't realize is that the next thing we were going to play was Observer.
Here's the thing. I'll say this before we get into the talk about it. I have only played probably about 3 to 4 hours worth of Observer. In that 3 to 4 hours, even though I've been scared shitless for most of it,
Oh God!
it has been more stimulating than my entire time with Death Stranding.
Dude, just playing fucking fire spiders is more stimulating than Death Stranding.
Yo, that game is addicting, though. I want the mobile version now.
That'd be amazing.
So Warren Minix was very kind
Shouts
enough
out.
Shouts out. messaged the four of us on Discord one day, and he was having a good weekend. He was feeling generous, and he gave us each some PSN bucks, with the idea being that we would use that to get Observer and play Observer for the show. And it was enough. I've said this before, but it bears repeating because Warren's a very cool person for doing this. But
thank you again, buddy. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, seriously.
He gave us basically enough to get Observer and PlayStation Plus for a month, which would, because Observer was on discount on PlayStation Plus if we didn't have it. And so I think most of us have PlayStation Plus, if not all of us. And we got Observer, and now we have decided to start playing it. And that's kind of brought us up to speed on the situation. And here we are.
Indeed, here we are.
Yep.
So, Observer is a psychological horror game, clearly.
A very successful one at that.
Yeah, it does a very, very good job. It was developed by Bloober Team, which is a Polish developer, and published by Asper, which is an American publisher, and it came out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC in August 15th, 2017, and various other platforms later on. And they made this game. About 30 people developed it in Unreal Engine 4. And of course, we mentioned it stars Rutger Hauer, who of course was in Blade Runner.
Old Roy Batty there. Old Roy Batty
phenomenal
himself.
antagonist, Roy Batty. And it's very clearly heavily influenced by Blade Runner in its like world and kind of.
Oh yeah.
It got some pretty damn good scores. It got a 9 out of 10 from Game Informer, 4.5 from Game Revolution, 9 out of 10 from GameSpot. Shack News gave it 9 out of 10. The highest rated version is 86 out of 100 on Metacritic for the Xbox One version for some reason, but
Nice.
PS4, PC, and the Switch are a little bit lower in the high 70s.
This thing was on the Switch?
It's on the Switch? Yeah, it
Holy
came out in
shit.
2019 on the Switch.
Yeah. I think
So
there's
when
some
you-
like bugs and stuff on the PS4 version and the
Yeah, probably.
So when if you need a break from Animal Crossing and you just want to go through an existential crisis for a little bit, just pop over to Observer on your Switch.
In case you need to relax, you know.
Yeah, in case you just really need to, break this kind of like quarantine blues, just head over and play Observer.
I will say this game, even though I've only played about 4.5, 5 hours of it, is most definitely deserving of all those high scores.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
It's so what? Yeah, obviously, when we say we had a bad time, we don't mean that we had a bad time. It's not a bad game.
We had
It's just
we had a good bad time.
Yeah, we're just very soft boys.
Yeah.
Well, and Chris and I have been enhancing the experience in our own ways as well.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, also, so before we get into it, is anyone else playing it with headphones, or am I the only crazy motherfucker that's
No,
doing that?
fuck that.
So
No.
I'm not playing with headphones, but I'm playing with like a hi-fi surround system in my living room, and I've like moved my chair very close to the TV, so the speakers are surrounding my chair.
God.
In this
Oh, man.
in my
I'm
living
playing
room.
with
It's-
lighting atmosphere.
So I've been playing it with
yeah,
these,
me
which are pretty good headphones. They're Tascams, I think they're called. And that shit makes it sound like when you hear whispers and shit in that game, I feel like someone's in my apartment whispering in my ear, and I have to stop and look
Hey,
to see if I've got a shank up
guess
that
what?
shit.
Guess what? Actually, fuck that. I gotta tell you.
There's
Actually, fuck
no
that.
way in hell.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And that's just one way I've enhanced the experience.
Yeah, one way. There's a couple other ways that you guys have been enhancing these. So the game stars a gentleman by the name of Daniel Lazarski. He's a detective, and he is an observer, which means that he can hack the implants in people's brains to interrogate them, basically. It's called a dream eater, and he can go into their brains and see their stuff and get information out of them. And then he also has the ability to view crime scenes with electromagnetic vision, which he can use to scan electronics devices, and biovision, which he can use to scan for like blood and like forensic stuff. And then you go around, you're trying to find clues and figure out what the fuck's going on. And yeah, it's set in this world. I believe it is set in Poland, right? Is that
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Krakow.
So what's happened is there's a company that's gotten so powerful that they
The Tyrell Corporation. Wait, what?
Right.
No, the Wallace. the Wallace Corporation.
It's I believe the company is called Chiron. I'm probably butchering Chiron. Yeah, I mispronounce everything because I'm from East Tennessee. Anyway,
Sorry.
I mean it's true. It's true.
Oh man.
What this company's gotten like so powerful that they purchased Poland and they've established the Fifth Polish Republic. And there's like a wall. I don't know. You could get really deep into the lore and backstory by digging around.
There's a shocking amount of lore.
This is also after two basically apocalyptic level events. The first was the nanophage, and the second was, I think it was the second, was like basically an all-out nuclear holocaust. So essentially Poland is like one of the few remaining safe areas in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also like to kind of bring up, like, I think one of the reasons why this game was recommended to us is because there are parts of the game, they're like stealthy, like Metal Gear Solid. And we were also like talking about Blade Runner and cyberpunk themes. And man, if Kojima ripped off Blade Runner, then I don't know what these guys are doing. Because it's just like tracing in a way.
I was gonna say these guys just copy pasted, but in a good way.
They went dark with it too. But I think that the thing is, this game reminds me of very old school PC games, like specifically Myst. Yeah. If you ever played that game,
Wow!
Yeah, I can see a little bit. I
haven't heard of Myst pull in a very long time.
Oh man, Myst! My first gaming console was a Windows 95 machine from IBM. So PC gaming was a big part of my childhood. And let me tell you, just those like kind of point and click type adventures, this is very much that, but it has stakes.
Well, that's what I was going to sort of build up to, was the fact that this is not a shooty game. You really don't have any way to defend yourself, but there's also really nothing to defend yourself from. At least that we've encountered so far. Yeah. And it's all about atmosphere and...
Chris. Well...
Again, what we've encountered so far. And I'm sure we've all had vastly different experiences.
Just, you know, a bit of, like, foreshadowing. You defend yourself in that world. Please. Go ahead.
What world?
That, like... You know what? We'll get to it.
Watch out, there's a word from our sponsor there.
Hey, boys.
Hey,
I got a question for you.
Hey, Sam.
You guys like snacks?
Yeah, I like snacks.
Of course.
As a snack, I consider myself an expert in snacks.
Well, then have I got a treat for you? You know what one of my favorite snacks is?
Hopefully not Chris.
Not Chris, but I will not deny that Chris is in fact a snack, but he is not a snack for me.
He really is.
One of my favorite snacks is popcorn.
Mm.
Love popcorn. Love a little popcorn. You love some fancy flavors of popcorn, like maybe some gourmet stuff.
As one bougie person, I do indeed fancy popcorn.
You fancy popcorn.
I do fancy popcorn.
Do you like a Chicago mix?
Ooh.
Cheese and caramel flavor?
As long as it's not Chicago-style pizza.
Ooh. Which may or may not actually be pizza.
What's in that Chicago mix?
Well, you know, it's cheddar cheese popcorn and salted caramel popcorn in one mix.
Yo, that sounds good.
You know?
Ooh.
Or perhaps you like peanut butter popcorn.
Ooh. Some Reese's action right there.
Yeah. Or maybe, just maybe, you like cinnamon rum infused popcorn.
Ooh, now you're speaking my language there, Bubby.
Now we're speaking the language. Now,
but
what
Sam,
if I told you?
I don't think anyone makes these kind of flavors of popcorn.
Well, Zach, what if I told you that they did?
Liar.
I think you were pulling my dang leg.
Well, let me tell you about Baked Right Gourmet. They make all of these flavors of popcorn and more. And all of their popcorn flavors are made homemade with love.
That's the secret ingredient, I hear.
That's the secret ingredient, is love. It's true. They've got all kinds of different flavors like the ones mentioned, but on top of that, there's other spirit-infused popcorns, like apple crown-infused popcorn, cranberry vodka-infused popcorn. There's cheddar cheese. There's salted caramel. There's a cheesy caramel that is basically just a Chicago mix combined together into one delightful popcorn kernel delicious blend.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. So
that is in fact right.
The website is bakedrightgourmet.com, BAKEDWRIGHT gourmet.com, where you can get all these flavors and stock up your quarantine shelters with delicious popcorn made with love. I can attest. Cole can attest. Chris can attest. Zach, I don't know if Zach can attest yet, but he's gonna.
Well, Sam, see, unfortunately, I'm a very poor college student. Is there any way I could get some kind of discount on bakedrightgourmet.com?
You know, Zach, there is actually. If you go to bakedrightgourmet.com and use the code JUSTABOX at checkout, you'll be able to get 15% off of your order. It is a one-time use code valid between the dates of May 4th and May 11th. So for 2 weeks, or 18th, I should say, you can get delicious popcorn for 15% off using the code JUSTABOX.
So very specific code. Just a box.
That is a very specific. You know why it is a very specific code? It's because it was made specifically for our listeners here on Metal Gear Mondays.
Oh,
so
sweet.
Yeah, so take advantage of this special offer. And if you decide you want to stock up like with so much popcorn, because as you should, because it's delicious, any orders that are $40 or more get free shipping anywhere in the United States. So check that out and buy some popcorn because it's delicious. And yes, it's my dad, and I love him, and you should buy it anyway.
It is St. Tim, and it's so good. I've already ran through really multiple bags of this stuff.
Now, you would think, as the son of the proprietor of BakeRightGourmet.com, I would get free popcorn, but no. I do not. I buy it like everybody else.
Well, that's because St. Tim doesn't believe in nepotism.
That is true.
He sure does.
That is true.
He sure does it, and we're sponsoring it because nepotism does not work up.
It's true. This isn't reverse nepotism.
Nope.
So I spend my money on this stuff just like everybody else does, and that should say something that I'm willing to spend my money on this delicious popcorn. It is actually incredibly good, and you should use the code and buy some. You will not regret it. So
what was that code
remember?
again? Was that code up, down, left, right?
No. That's the Konami code, Chris. I believe the code we're looking for is just a box at checkout for 15% off of your first order at bakedrightgourmet.com. So, thank you, and enjoy the rest of this podcast. So I'm going to say two things. Is one, you've kind of heard us say we played like 3-4 hours of the game. The game is very short. It's like on average, like a 7 to 8 hour experience, which is like super like contained, and it seems to be like building to something pretty cool from what we have played as of right now. The other thing is that if you are wanting to play Observer along with us, for this episode, we played from the beginning of the game through the second Dream Eater sequence, which is inside of the tattoo parlor. So if either of those things mean anything to you, you'll know. If you get to the tattoo parlor and you do a sequence in there, that's where we played to for the purposes of this episode. So there are going to be spoilers, obviously, for that section. So
yep,
be warned.
God, just going over the show notes again. I did such a fucking divergent path from what this was.
Do you want to just jump right into it, boys?
Yeah, man. Let's get after it.
Let's start with that silky smooth narration.
Yes.
Seriously, how good is that opening narration?
It's great.
It's really good.
It's really
Rutger
good.
Hauer is incredible. He's incredible. Like, there's just no. I was gonna say other words, and there wasn't any. So.
Indeed, there are no other words.
Yeah. All right, podcast is over. Bye. So the game starts off. You are, of course, Daniel Lazarski, observer, detective, and you're sitting in your car, and you get a phone call from somebody from your department, correct?
Yeah, that's what I got from it.
Yeah, it's like your operator.
Yeah.
So she's kind of talking to you about like the situation. So Chris, you were the one who played, I think, most recently. So like, you remember what that conversation was like? If you can.
So there was like a kind of a bombing thing or something in the town, and your character Daniel, I keep wanting to call him Rutger.
Yeah.
But your character Daniel is like, do you need my help or whatever? And she's like, no, there's nothing left to clean up anyway. So it sounds particularly gruesome. And I think that's our first hint that like this game is really gruesome, actually.
Yeah.
And then there's the kind of tutorial, which is, I think, tastefully done about the synchrosine and your different views. So you have like two different views you can use, and it explains like one of them's like a bioscan type, and it scans for like biological material. And there's another
So
one
it's that forensic, like blood and things like that, hair.
Yeah.
Body parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, body
Yeah.
parts. Oh, God.
Yeah, body parts.
Missing body parts in particular for this scenario.
Yeah. That's a thing.
I'll say one thing here on the synchrosine
Sure.
is that while it tells you how to like access it and use it, the one thing that I think this game does really well with like not with like, you know, keeping up with the whole like keeping you on your toes is that it doesn't tell you that you can keep taking it.
Oh, and then get addicted to it?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Or get like you can get like synchrosine poison.
Really?
You can overdose on it. So like you should use it, but you should use it in like mediation.
I use it like so sparingly. Like I wait till
Oh,
like
I
my
do too,
screen's really
which
glitching out,
sucks.
and then I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I think I took 3 in a row, and then after you take it, it says you have synchrosine poison or something like that, and it like makes your vision all like distorted. So like if you move your head, like to move the camera, it like blurs and
It's like
causes
extreme motion blur. Ugh, made
Well,
me
and
sick.
It's
And
wild.
another good thing for the full immersion is like if you start, that's really your only cue is when your vision starts getting fucked up, or if it's like a scripted thing, then your little wrist AI will be like, you know, synchronization low or something like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, you don't.
Sedative.
Yeah, you don't get a fucking flashing thing that says like take synchrosine, you know, press square to take synchrosine or whatever.
No,
like it's
no, you
like,
just kinda
you don't
have to.
have to. That's
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. It'll fuck you up, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
If you want to enhance the experience anymore, it's what we call a pro gamer move.
But then he's talking to his operator, and then he gets a call from someone.
Yeah.
And he determines that it is his son Adam, who is kind of like he's estranged from. And it's this very mysterious call. You're not really sure like what's going on, or like if if Adam's in trouble, or like what's happening. And by the way, during this section where he's getting this call from Adam, like the world around the car disappears.
Okay.
Like it
Yeah.
was fucking frightening. I was expecting like some type of thing to come like beat on my window.
Well,
like and they
Not only that, but also like the mirrors don't work anymore. You don't see your reflection. Yeah, it's fucking bizarre.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I will say this because I streamed the first part of this for if you're part of our Discord, you know that I tweeted out, I posted out, hey, I'm gonna be streaming. So I have been Twitch streaming this. During this sequence, I'm like looking straight ahead. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm kind of freaking out a little bit, and I look to my right, and there's just more mist. And then when I panned over to my left, it wasn't someone banging on my window, but you definitely see like a figure like full on sprint right past your window.
what?
Yeah, it.
Well, no, I
Oh.
thought that happened when the world was normal.
No, it's in the mist.
Ooh, I missed that. Then I was busy
with me, dude.
I was waiting for it, and I didn't see.
I was waiting on it, and it still like caught me. But once again, self-proclaimed Nancy boy. Hi, Cole Duncan. Nice to meet you.
So here's your first indicator that this game is going to at the very least do atmosphere probably better than most video games could ever hope to do atmosphere.
Seriously.
Because,
Yeah.
like
you're in a car.
Yeah.
And
Like you're in
that.
this like tiny enclosed space, you're trapped, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You're getting this mysterious, like kind of like creepy call from what appears to be your son, and like nothing, like the world around you is gone. Like you were just talking to somebody, people are around, you were in an alley, whatever, and the world's just gone. And I guess, yeah, somebody sprints past your car. I guess that would probably have freaked me out too if it had happened, but if I had seen it happen. But yeah, so this game, honestly, atmosphere is incredible in this game. Like they do it so well.
Something that I feel that this game does is like take a bunch of cinematic tropes, right? With like camera direction and things like that, like the guy running the figure, right, that Cole mentioned.
Yeah.
And it kind of uses a lot of those in the early stages of the game, right up until a certain point that we'll get to later. And I think that it gets you to trust the kind of direction of the game. And then when that change happens, it just pulls the rug out from under you.
Which is,
and it's like, psych.
Well, and that's the thing is like we as, I guess, the players shouldn't like not be expecting that, because at the end of that phone call with Adam, he says like, just remember, you are not in control.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which in any other game, if this game had done anything else in its execution, even an iota, like poorly, that would have been super hammy. But because of how well everything is done, it's like, oh shit. And then as you go on, you're like, oh fuck, he wasn't lying.
Yeah, I was expecting when that line came up to be like some sort of tropey, like Raiden throwing away the ID tags
like
in MGS2, but
goofy goober bullshit.
yeah, like, oh, you're a video game character, and
You know what this game does exceptionally well that most other video games try to do but fail at is it executes show don't tell like flawlessly. And when it does tell you, it tells you after it's shown you in a way that feels organic to the point where you're like, oh, not like where you, not like fucking Kojima, ham fisting a fucking metaphor down your throat.
Ham fisting a ham sandwich down your throat.
he's gonna bring you a metaphor.
Don't.
So can I also tell you another thing that I kind of really like about this is like gameplay specific, is I like holding the trigger and then moving the analog stick to open doors and open things.
Yeah,
I really like that.
A little extra element of just kind of suspense to the game.
Yeah, it's
because
real
it makes
weighty.
you feel like you're. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're pulling the doors open. Like you have to deal with what's behind it. Like it's a whole you're not in control consequence.
Me and Zach and I, before he jumps on me.
I was gonna let that one go.
Talked about this a couple of days ago, where we realized that we were both in the same part in the game, and we both were just like, no, like I can't not just kind of like creak the door open anymore. Like I immediately just slam the door wide open, just get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off.
So in real life, I already hate doors that swing toward me, and that's in real life where very little is going to actually happen. So in this game, when I'm like, I hold R2 and I'm like, push in, go have it open, and I'm like, come on, push open. I don't want to pull this thing open.
Do it, please.
I don't want it. So it even in like little things like that, like it makes you uneasy, and it does a really good job of making you feel.
But it also, I love how they implemented that, because it really gives you a sense of not urgency, but almost like presence in the world, as opposed to just walk up and hit A and a button and the door just fucking flies open for you.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, it's a good point. So you track this call from Adam to this tenement building, and one of the things that's kind of a thing in this universe is that after this nanophage, basically it caused war, it caused like drug use, and it cost the lives of a bunch of fucking people. And all of these addicts and undesirables, we'll say, were they were made to be Class C citizens and were just forced into these like really like creepy, dirty tenement buildings in the city. And so Daniel receives this call and he tracks the call to this building, and we meet our good friend,
Janus the janitor.
Janice the janitor. He's just a real fun dude, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's got
I don't like this dude.
He's your little,
cool.
he's
I
your
have
little
a lot of
buddy.
reasons.
And you also meet Rudy.
Yeah.
Who I fucking love Rudy because he just shows up at random. He scares the shit out of me, but then I'll hear like this noise, be like, "What is that?" And then I'll look and there's Rudy staring at a corner. I think
Good old Rudy.
So Rudy is the Boomba's older brother.
Yeah,
So-
Rudy's great. The fuck, he's just like, he's like a cleaning robot, right?
Yeah, he's a janitorial robot. But
he just goes around.
So I've been recording the game and putting it out on YouTube, and there are multiple parts where I'll like hear something, I'll be like, "The fuck is that?" And then I'll go to investigate, and be like, "Oh hey Rudy," and Rudy's just sort of doing his own thing.
But yeah, so you meet Janice. He's just Cole. Can you please describe Janice? For
Janice,
me, please? Janice the janitor.
Janice, my man, is he's a real handsome fellow, and there's nothing else to remark about him. No, he is a really messed up looking dude. He's got skin draping off of his face. He has cybernetics that you can see, like his arms are definitely have been replaced, and it's ice. Well, I won't get into that now.
Well, because if you do some reading on some of these terminals that are around, you'll find out why he's fucked up like this.
But he has implants. He has robotic arms.
It's quite obvious.
The skin, and the reason it's quite obvious is because the skin is like peeled back, kind of like you would like roll your sleeves up almost. You know what I mean?
Well, let's not forget that literally, like, from the right half of his face, from the top of his skull, all the way down to, like, basically his shoulder and then his arm are all replaced with synthetic flesh as well.
Yeah, and the majority of it, like I said, is, like, slagging, and it's coming off of him.
Is it just me, or is it, like, when people do that to cybernetics? Like, I saw an ad for some robot thing on the internet today. And it was like
in real life, or
in real life, yeah. It was it was an ad for like some autonomous deep fryer, and it had like an arm with the thing, and it would like.
Hold on. Why?
Well, here you have to understand. I mean, I work in advertising in the food category, so I spend a lot of time looking at stuff that would categorize me as someone who would be interested in that.
An autonomous fryer.
But it had that same type of like
Doesn't sound like someone from
fleshy
East Tennessee
skin
that much.
pulled
I'm just throwing it
across.
out there.
Sorry, what?
Nothing. Keep going.
I'm saying it had the same type of like fleshy skin pulled over the chassis or whatever of the arm. And I find that to be 10,000 times more creepy than just showing like a raw mechanical thing.
Oh yeah, because it's that uncanny valley.
It's like a latex glove.
You know what it is? It's like, think back to the original Terminator near the end when he's performing the eye surgery and his skin's dying, so he looks all fucking waxy.
Ooh, no.
See, I love that because it really adds to the world. It's like, because you know that, like, Class A citizens, you know, the fucking creme de la creme, they've got fucking shiny robot arms, or it looks like a regular, arm or whatever.
Arm.
Where these guys, you know, they're walking around with fucking glorified Play-Doh as their synthetic arm, pretty much. Oh, absolutely.
You think they're all chrome and shiny?
Or they just look like a regular arm with, like, a seam. You know, that would be it.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like the art for Cyberpunk 2077, where you can just see like the line.
Yeah, they might look like someone from like Detroit Become Human or something like that.
Think Raiden at the end of MGS4.
Oh.
No,
want.
after when he fucking meets his son and he's all normal again, but you can see you can see the seams. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like.
Yeah.
Also thinking like Sam from Revengeance.
Oh yeah.
That kind of cybernetic body. He was a thick boy.
Yeah.
I still need to play
He's a
that.
very thick boy. Zach, you would fucking love that game. I don't know why you haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you really enjoy it,
it's
honestly.
like it's criminally underrated.
Yeah,
If you don't
it's really
like
good.
Revengeance,
With their Sonic fucking DX ass soundtracks where there's
it's
speed
so
metal
good.
and
Yeah.
lyrics.
It really is good.
yeah.
It's just, you know what? Never in my life did I think any music combination went better with Metal Gear than fucking butt rock. Like, I'll tell you that much.
Butt rock? Is that what that's called?
It makes so much sense. Like dad rock, butt rock.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Creed
Butt
or
rock.
something.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, nothing goes better.
That's getting added to the vernacular.
Good. Oh man, we need to do another poll. We need to see how many listeners have heard the term butt rock before because it's such an incredible term.
Yeah,
And
chime
it's part
in.
of my
tweet
chime
at us
in.
if you've heard the term butt rock.
Well, so I know it happens later on, but is now a good time to sort of go into the details behind why Janus is all fucked up like he is?
Well, so we're gonna get to a point
Yeah.
because remember
Yeah, we'll get to that.
we see him right after we find out why.
Oh yeah, we see him
So,
real
well,
good.
I can't wait till we get to that part because you motherfuckers, you were on the call with me when that happened to me, and I yelled and yelled.
You did a yelp.
It.
Yeah, I did a major yelp.
Funny.
Anyway, 5 stars yelp. Anyway, so we meet Janice, and then our job is to go around and try and figure out where Adam's apartment is. And
Well,
so
you use Adam's name. You're like, hey, I'm looking for Adam Lazarski, and he's like, not coming up.
Oh, you see, I used
Grabinski?
Yeah, I used Grabinski, and
I did too.
He was like apartment 7.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
immediately said Adam Lazarski, and he's like, nope, nothing doing. And then I did the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Zach, are you telling me that you picked Grabinski first? Like you didn't say Rosinski at all?
That is correct.
Okay.
I did as well. Yeah.
How did you figure that out?
Because he said it on the call.
See, I missed that. 'Cause
I forget
was
if
still freaking
Adam.
out, so.
Actually, I forget if Adam said it or if it was on like the caller ID. But
I think it was on the ID.
There was something on there that said Grabinski, and I was like, okay, he's calling under this name. Let me use this name and see what happens.
You clever motherfucker.
Yeah.
I did it. Hey, I did it too.
Yeah. Oh,
both
yeah. You
clever
did.
motherfuckers.
I want the satisfaction.
Here comes equal opportunity cake at someone else's fucking birthday party, Sam Wright.
Listen.
God.
Where's
Listen,
my equal attention
no.
presents?
Listen. I have one word to fucking say to you about that, Zach James. You know what it is?
What is it?
Reparations. Anyway.
You're older than me.
I don't care. Your ancestors did shit to me.
My ancestors came over in 1952.
Boys.
Boys.
Girls,
Anyway,
girls.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, please.
No, let's vamp
So, yeah.
about this for a little bit longer.
No, I don't want. I do not want green eggs and ham right now. I would like to continue talking about this video game that was so kindly provided to us by Warren Minix. We are ruining the.
Thank you.
Thanks, Warren. We're just gonna shit all over this analysis for you.
So you don't do any like door to doors at this point, right? You just kind of get to.
No,
the
you
front.
head
no, you
straight
just walk
to
up to it.
007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to 007 and you have to kind of like do some weird shit to get in there because it's not like.
Oh, it's a beautiful room. I don't know what you're talking about, Sam. It's
Well-
immaculately made up. Yeah.
Can we talk for a second here?
Nope. I
About
won't talk anymore about
walking, like what kind of environment this looks like? It's very strange. These buildings,
Like
and,
the building or just the apartment.
yeah, the buildings, like the way they're designed and all this stuff. Because it's like there are these walls and it's very dilapidated.
It's so
But
weird.
it's almost
'cause-
like
Oh, go ahead. I'm
hologram.
sorry. Well, so I think that's Daniel's like augmented vision that the holograms are coming from.
Yeah.
And that, because that comes into play a little later. But what I was going to say is there's some really weird but interesting design choices where it'll be like, you'll be walking down the hallway and they'll be like door. And then there's just a fucking piece of wall smashed out. But then you look and that leads into the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's almost like it's a dystopian future where they don't give a fuck about the people that they put in these buildings.
Also, that's something
The
that should
game
be
designers
noted.
of a cyberpunk series would never do
Well, that's
that.
something that should be noted. I think is a really interesting and realistic design. Is these are basically tenement buildings. So the kitchen, like the main kitchen, the bathrooms, and the laundry rooms are all like communal.
Yeah.
Like you have to walk down the hall to fucking. Which, if you've ever lived like that, it fucking sucks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's like
I
dorm
can
living.
imagine. I've never had to do that, thankfully, but it sounds like a nightmare. I gotta tell you. But yeah, so you go over to apartment 7, where Adam supposedly is. You walk in, and it's you get this scene of windows open, breeze blowing through.
Yep. I mean,
a nice
it's
curtain.
a gorgeous little studio apartment. Honestly, you know, they
nice
could be like
curtain
some kind of up in
a-
Manhattan somewhere.
And somebody's behind the curtain, just really enjoying the window.
A lower 42nd.
Tell me what you really saw, Sam.
No, well, I mean, I did see a window open. There was breeze rolling through, and there was somebody sitting behind the curtain. I did not. The courts will see that I did not perjure myself.
The smell of copper was in the air.
Oh, the smell of copper is in the air. There's a body behind this curtain, and you walk up to the curtain, and of course, there's no head on the person's body.
And this actually gives your character a fucking heart attack.
Oh yeah, because he fucking thinks it's his son.
Yeah.
He's panicking.
Well, I'm just saying though, like how many games have you experienced your character that you're playing as have a heart attack?
In first person.
Where you actually felt like, oh shit, what do I do right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, MGS4, but
No, see, MGS4 did it good. So I just finished MGS4. MGS4 did it good like the first 3 or 4 times, but then after a while we hear and he's like and he's falling all over the place. It was like, all right, let's get the show on the road.
yeah. That's fair.
But this was just like, it was so, I don't know if they'll like, so it hasn't happened, I think, thus far up to the point we played, but it was done perfectly in this particular moment, because obviously he'd flip the fuck out if he thought his son had his head chopped off, right? Mm-hmm. But eventually his like computer applies some sedatives, and he calls into dispatch, and he's like, okay, maybe it's not him. Let me look around. Let me do some sleuthing. And he scans the person's ID, and he finds out that he's not sure who it is. It's an unknown person. And so he kind of jumps around. He looks at the person's compass, their like watch phone thing, and he finds out that there was the most recent call was from somebody with the initials HN. And then you kind of have to go kind of like sleuth around this apartment and find some stuff.
Which this game really makes you feel like a police detective, how much shit you can interact with.
Whether or not it's consequential, which is the thing, which is very realistic. Like, there's a lot of, like, inconsequential stuff that you find.
And then, it'll be like, you could scan this picture frame, and since it's Adam's apartment, Daniel will make a comment about it or whatever. And he has little quips about certain things that just make it feel like such a, it feels so natural. Mm-hmm. But what I liked was, like, I'd go through everything, and then I'd go, like, BioVision, and I'd pick out a few things I saw, and then I'd go investigative mode, and I'd pick out a few more things. But it felt like every time I switched back to the other one, I found something new, just because I was looking further and further and further, which I believe is what it encourages you to do. But it's such a good feeling, and it's not just like, literally your intro to these is, okay, hit R1 to turn on this thing. Okay, look at this. Hit L1 to turn on BioVision. Look at that. And that's it for your fucking introduction to it. And it feels so natural after that. It's such a good feeling. Whereas every other game, as soon as you walked into a room, a little thing would pop up in your bottom corner. L1 for BioVision, R1 for investigative mode, yada yada yada. Like, the HUD in this game is pretty much there is no HUD actually, other than your augmented reality, and when you hit triangle, you look at your own compass, which is kind of like it actually is very reminiscent of the the Dead Space menu system, how it's just a hollow projection in front of you, and the game doesn't stop.
I know this isn't about Dead Space, but I think Dead Space's menu system might be my favorite menu system in like gaming.
Well, actually, now that you bring
good.
that up, a big inspiration for Dead Space was Metroid Fusion.
Don't.
I knew it was
Here
coming.
we go.
But no, I agree with you, Sam. Dead Space had a phenomenal menu system.
Believe it or not, I've never played Dead Space. I know, shocking.
You should. That's one that you should do.
No, I'm good.
You won't hear me recommend you play a horror game often, if ever. Dead Space is one you should play. For sure.
Cole, I'll do it. I'll do it if you do it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I've never played them.
No, I'm good. I'm seriously good.
I'd play Dead Space again,
No,
honestly.
y'all played Dead Space.
I'm-
You played Dead
I'm,
Space.
I'm definitely going to play through the first two again.
Yeah.
Maybe
Anyway.
Cole and I could do the third one as a co-op because that's not even a horror game at that point.
Maybe
Yeah.
not. You know, who
It's not-
knows?
Yeah, Dead Space 3 is. Listen, I'm telling you, Dead Space 3 is not scary even a little bit. Anyway,
Half the Discord is like, oh, you should play like XYZ horror games, and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna do that. They're not that scary. Still not gonna do it. I love y'all. This is it. Y'all are getting this.
Yeah.
Right
no thanks,
now.
fam.
we'll see about that. Anyway, so you're hunting around this apartment, and it's important to note that if you try to leave this apartment, you get locked into the apartment, and so you have to find a code to get out of the apartment. And if you're observing properly, you'll find two things that it could be. And I think there's a way for you to like get a match on a number at some point, but I didn't.
Yeah, if you do the hack. Oh, I figured out because I figured out because I literally found it, and then I was like, oh, this has 4 numbers. This must be it.
See, I did something completely different than that.
So what I imagine the game trying to like, the game is telling you, you find a book that is 1984 by George Orwell, and Daniel makes note that it's a real physical book. It's not like a hollow book. It's just physical, actual ass book of 1984. My stupid ass finds the picture of the family and thinks, "Oh, the year," and then I was like, "Oh yeah, they're estranged." That didn't work. And then I was like, "Oh fuck, it's probably 1984."
Yeah, no, I picked up 1984. I was like, "Hey, look, it's another thing about this." Because my dumb ass didn't put it together until about 2 hours after I stopped my first session, where I was like, "Oh, 2084, 1984."
Yeah.
That's that was my situation too, actually.
Yeah, I didn't put it together until Zach told me about it.
To be fair,
To be fair,
But literally, so I was like,
I
"Oh,
would-
1984, a good fucking dystopian book. Oh, pretty topical for what we're playing
so
in."
wait, like, question: when you found the actual keypad in the kitchen, did anyone else just immediately hack it without finding 1984?
Nope.
No,
I did.
I know you can. It gives you the 4.
It does,
right?
and that's
yeah.
So I was like, I got the 4, and I was like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. So I went back and looked around the room and more, and then I found 1984. I was like, oh, obviously context clues. I'm a smart boy. Boy, was I wrong for the rest of this game.
So so I have never felt more desperate than when I did a hack that only gave me 2 of the digits.
Oh my god!
It gave me like the first 2 of the last 2, so I spent like 15 minutes just fucking bumbling around different combinations trying to figure it out. Guess what I didn't do? Figure it out.
Yeah, so the connection between 1984 and 2084, I was right now years old when I made that connection. So
oh, that's
Even
dope.
better. Here I thought I was like, they're gonna laugh at me when I tell them this.
yeah, no. Yeah. So you put in the code, and this like table, the door unlocks, and this like table comes down from the ceiling, and it's got like all these like, it's one of the computers, and it's got some like information on it that you need to kind of proceed with your investigation. And yeah, so you go, you kind of leave the apartment, and did anybody like start hunting after this spider game?
So I got like 4 levels in, and then I just stopped.
And then it was impossible.
I cannot beat level 4.
I didn't go past it. I was just like, this is not for me.
Oh, it becomes impossible.
Does it?
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, I can't figure
Yep,
out.
I've unlocked up to level 8 with all the various terminals I found, but I cannot beat level 4, and I refuse to skip a level.
Yeah. So I tried skipping a level, Zach. It doesn't get any easier. Like
I can only imagine, man.
Yeah. But anyway, so you leave the apartment and this building starts flipping the fuck out.
So this with headphones on was a very frightening experience.
Oh yeah. Like there's alarms going off, the lights are red, like there's a lot of bad I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
You walk out in the hallway.
Mm-hmm. The building's gone on lockdown.
Well, and also it lasts uncomfortably long. Mm-hmm, you're like, this should be going on, like this should be ending by now, and it goes for about another 30 seconds. And
longer than you really want it to be going on for. Like this
is like part of what leads me to believe that like the holograms and stuff that you see on the wall is like kind of a technology they use to decorate or whatever their spaces. Like instead of painting a room, you would just have like a hologram.
Yeah, all of the holograms are gone at this point.
Yeah, but I think that like the way that the room is vibrating and it's like flashing red and all this stuff is kind of like the holograms doing some sort of alert thing.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't think of it in that
like
aspect.
It's a thing that's kind of like designed to want to push you out of the space that you're in,
well,
which is what they're trying to do.
Well, let me say, so I think there are holograms with like all the little posters and billboards and stuff like that, because as the game goes on, they start fucking with you, and that's really starting to grate on my nerves a lot. There was one I walked up to where it's like this model, and then I walked up and it turned into a skeleton and like screeched at me for a second, and I was like, fuck you.
Nope. Hey, thanks for that heads up, bud.
I think it's a random event. I don't think it's a
oh, well, great.
Those aren't scripted. They just kind of happen.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love this game.
So basically now the building's in lockdown and you're kind of trying to investigate like, well, who is HN? I need to find HN basically.
Or NH.
Because NH. No, it's
HN.
Is it HN? Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's NH.
One of the rooms you go into, you find yeah, it's HN.
No, it's NH.
Her name's Helena Nowak.
I think they're right, Chris.
Really?
Her name's Helena Nowak.
Her last name's their last name is Nowak.
Sorry.
My fucking notes were wrong.
Anyway, there is one place I did want to bring this up. There is one room you go into that you find a suicide note on, and then somebody hanging themselves.
This part fucked me up, and it was on stream.
So you know what's really funny about this one is I was in there and I opened the door.
Poor choice of words.
But so I was standing when I opened it. So I was just looking at the curtain and it does like the fucking scare chord and everything starts vibrating. I was like, the fuck is that? Because I didn't realize like what was going on. So then I looked down and I saw the message and I was like, huh. And then I crouched and then I saw the lights. I was like, oh. Well, it's a lot less scary now that everything's happening.
So it didn't do that. It did not do that for me. Like I walked up to like the little door, and I could see like the writing on like the floor, and I like crouched down because I was like, move, plant, what is it? And I'm like trying to like look around, and I can't really see anything. And then if you move in just a certain way while you're crouched, that's when it does like the scare chord for me, and it, I could see remove your implants, and then I saw the dude hanging, and it fucked with me.
So this was the first of 3 where the game kind of like bugged out in a way that actually made it scarier / funnier later on in retrospect.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked.
Speaking of fucked, these neighbors, huh?
Yeah, these neighbors. Like, so I don't do eye shit, and this game is full of eye shit.
Oh, it loves it.
I don't like eye stuff either.
Here's a good description of this. Basically, take like 3 frames from any Tool music video and put them on a slow loop, and then put like a VHS overlay on it, and that's pretty much what you look at through these because each store has a little call box, and you're talking to the neighbors through their intercom.
Nobody comes out, but you see this video screen. It's just eyes like flipping the fuck out, and it's very unsettling, and I hate it.
Yeah.
And you do some investigating. You talk to these very like standoffish people. Kind of, some of them are kind of creepy. Not cool people. Not chill at all.
None of these people have any amount of chill.
No chill whatsoever. And eventually you go to the office, the office of the building, Giannis's office, and you go in, and this is where you find out that Janice is fucked up because he is a veteran and he got fucked up in the war. And they basically said, sorry, we can't take care of you anymore. You're on your own. And that's kind of why he's so fucked up.
It's kind of a fuck you to the VA in a realistic way. Because so if you read it, you find out later it was from plasma burns that like burrowed through his APC, and that's what fucked him up. But you find an email saying that we've given you multiple chances through this vocational program, but your continued employment as a janitor doesn't meet our standards. Therefore, your free medical care is going to get cut off, and that's why he's even more fucked up than he would normally be, because I imagine he's in a state of disrepair at this point.
Yeah, and he's definitely got some psychological issues that he's not getting help for too. Like, there's a lot going on with this guy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's also like a note about like a woman that he was involved with before.
That was his wife, and the email was from his son.
Yeah, and his son was basically saying like, do not come around anymore. We don't want you around, and we're not going to help you.
Really fucked up.
So this was the second where the game kind of bugged out on me. How did it happen when he showed up and told you guys that you need to get out?
So I was on the computer, I read all the emails, I played the spider game, and then when I finally got done and logged off, I turned around, he was just there. Yep. And I was on the call with, I don't know if you were there, Cole, but Chris and Zach definitely
I don't think
were.
I was there for that one.
I was playing the game with them on the call at this point, and like legit, I turned around and saw him. He was just standing there. I was like, ah! Like, it was not cute. And it was probably worse than that. Like, it was not cute.
So mine, what happened was I finished up. I was walking out of the fucking room, and all of a sudden I got locked in place, and I just heard, need to get out. And I couldn't move, and it didn't show who. And then the camera, like, whipped around to fucking focus on it.
Oh my god!
And it scared the fuck out of me. And I think I talked to Cole about this. I was like, "Did it do this for you?" And he was like, "No."
no. Literally, I got done reading it, and I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna look around the room a little bit." And I looked right at like the other like monitors to see if there was anything on the monitors or like there was anything I could like fuck with. And I was like, "Okay, no, can't really fuck with anything over there." And then I looked over to my left. I was like, "Maybe there's something over here that I can fuck with." Nope, nothing I can really do anything. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. I got the information I needed, and as soon as I turned around, he's like, "You need to get out of here." I was like, "God,
yeah."
Like,
No,
I hated it. I hated every bit of dealing with them.
But oh, really? Because I felt bad for the guy after I.
No, I did feel bad for the guy. But
just like
after him scaring the shit out of me,
like,
I was like, you know what? No, you deserve to have your skin melted off. Fuck you, dude.
No, I don't know about that. I probably would have decked him, but like.
But
like I feel bad for. I still feel for them.
But yeah, you do a little bit of world building. He talks about how his mods are kind of fucked up, and he talks about how the pain doesn't go away, and you can ask him how he got his wounds and all that. So
I got these scars.
so this was the second one, and the third time where the game kind of glitched out for me. It wasn't like any like contextual thing like this was. But so we should mention that this apartment building is chock full of these synthetic pigeons. They're just all over the fucking place. It's honestly kind of cute.
Have you heard of?
You're a big burb guy, Zach.
I am a big burp guy.
Have you guys heard of Birds Aren't Real?
Here we go with this shit.
Oh,
my
God,
brother
the government
fucking tries to rile me up with this shit all the time.
No, have you guys heard of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Birds Aren't Real is this like conspiracy theory that like in the 80s, Reagan like replaced all of the birds with spy cam robot things. And like part of this theory is that 5G technology is
so
like
stupid,
recharging the batteries of the birds.
5G technology, the thing that's causing the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People are so stupid.
Oh,
Something
man.
like, have you ever seen a baby
was
bird? No.
There was a protester today at the 5G tower they were putting up in my neighborhood. It's wild. But anyway, so I think it's like a clever little play on like all of these little conspiracy theories. And it just goes to show that this game is so exquisitely detailed.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
because these things are all over the place. But there was some random event where like there was a really loud scream and the screen began to shake. But as it did it, because the pigeons would just randomly fly. Well, one decided to fly like past my shoulder and filled the fucking field of view right as the scream happened and the screen was shaking.
No, thank you.
But yeah, so after you talk to Janice, he gives you kind of a log of the people in the building and unlocks all of the doors that he can unlock during the lockdown for you, which is very nice of him. So he kind of redeemed himself for scaring me previously.
Appreciate that slumpy face.
Oh God, don't be mean to Janice. Anyway,
Don't scare me. I won't be.
So basically, you have to figure out who HN, and you discover that there are two people with the name initials HN, and you can choose to investigate either one. One of them is just kind of a dead end. You do more investigation, talking to people.
One of them is here you go, Chris. Here's your fucking Death Stranding callback. One of them is just female elder.
Yeah, she is not nice.
I get more why she is not nice to an extent than I do why the elder was a shitheel. Fuck the elder. Glad he's dead.
He died?
Yeah,
he does. If you don't, I think, does he die regardless, or does he die?
I never interacted with him.
He dies after you 5-star him.
He definitely died for me. I didn't 5-star.
Cole couldn't provide that service fast enough if that's the case.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, but yeah, so you find the apartment. You find the HN is Helena Novak, and you find her apartment, and you walk in, and there's this hallway. And of course, the next area is cordoned off by a curtain.
Because why wouldn't it be, right?
And of course,
you
go in there.
You have to move the curtain too.
Beautiful bath, beautiful bath. There's it's a little red. Some bath bomb in there, maybe. Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, a little lush bomb in there.
It does it. A little lush bomb. Fuck off.
Some rose petals, some rosé. In fact,
maybe.
And you walk in, you see this slumped over, blood covered guy.
Yep.
And a bathtub full of blood, and you walk in, he's got his like guts hanging out, and you go to like touch him, and he is alive.
He's big alive.
Well, and also,
I wouldn't say big alive.
And also, he's got like a weird like speakerphone like phonogram thing coming out of his throat.
Yeah,
it is just fucking just disconcerting.
Yeah,
it's like he had his throat ripped out or something.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Did you guys tell him that you'll try to get help, or that you need to help me now because I can't help you?
I don't remember which one I chose.
I think I told him I'd try and get him help.
I think I did too.
I did too, and like radioed for help.
Oh, okay. No, then I did the other thing. I didn't radio for help. Maybe I don't remember. Hold on, I'll roll back my tape. You guys keep talking.
Basically, the whole thing is like, look, don't try to talk. I'm going to connect to your implant, and I'm going to figure out what happened here.
Yeah.
And so you do, and so the game fucking...
This is where it gets wild.
This is where they pull the fucking rug out from underneath your feet, because this is fucking insane.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. This is when we used the Dream Eater for the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you jack into Amir Noak's Matrix.
Yeah.
And you're in the apartment again. It's been reconstructed, but like shit starts to go fucking weird. So you're walking around.
Yeah.
This is the point where the game changes.
Yes, absolutely. In a very fundamental way. Because as soon as you walk forward, a fucking window blows open and it starts glitching the fuck out, and you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
This game
This game
does jump scares so well.
so well.
They're
It doesn't
earned.
use them in a cheap way, I don't think. They're
They're
earned.
very much earned.
Yeah. But yeah, so you have to basically just go into this fucking nightmare construct.
Oh, Ace. I think I even made a comment while I was playing. I was like, I thought my nightmares were bad.
Yeah. So like literally like everything's fucked up. Like sometimes you'll walk around and then you'll look at a door and then the door will like disappear. You turn around, you're in a completely different place.
Well, this one, because this happened early on. This is the one where you open like the apartment door and it's a blank concrete wall, but it just starts screaming at you.
Yeah.
And I remember this because it made me jump and I fucking slammed the door shut. I went, enough of that. And I turned around and walked the other way.
What's funny about that is that like before I started doing like the whole like slam the door open or slam the door close thing, I was doing the whole like Nancy boy like peek around the like so it would start out like I'd open and I'm like.
Oh, you see, I wasn't expecting it, so I just pulled open the door, got the full scream, and I fucking slammed
the fucking full ass Monty.
So I'd have it open for a sec, and then I just close it like, all right, let's just agree to never open that door ever again. Let's just, you know what? We're good. We don't need to open that door. There's nothing in there, except for screams.
Here's the thing, like my favorite thing about this sequence is that like. It does pull the rug out from underneath you, but it does it like slowly at first, where it's like, okay, we're gonna kind of like tug at it because you walk through, the window blows open, and then like it's very slow, but everything is like glitchy and fucked up.
Now, huh?
But it's still kind of like
it's
still kind of normal. Like okay, technology, it glitches the fuck out, and then like a bunch of other crazy shit happens, and then you're just like, oh, okay, I'm not in fucking Kansas, whatever. You start turning around, and there's all kinds of weird shit. I remember one of my favorite ones was you walk into this room where you go and you walk up to this window and a fucking bird flies at the window and cracks the window.
Window. Yes.
Oh god! And then you turn around and you're just on this like fucking wood bridge to nowhere. Like it's just
it's strange because it's like the window you're looking out at this wooden bridge and then you turn around
and you're on it
and you're on the wooden bridge facing the direction that's looking at the window. And
then you like walk across the bridge and all the birds like fly at you and shit like that.
Yeah. So I was with a friend on this trip. And let me tell you, this was the most terrified I have ever been playing a video game.
Yeah. This might be a great time to talk about how you and Zach really just elevated this, this experience.
Well, mine was until the next one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No.
So in my situation, I had I moved the chair like right up to the TV, and I've got this hi-fi system, and I angled the speakers at the chair, and I've got the Philips Hue lights, and I put on some like colors that were like very reminiscent of like Blade Runner or something, and turned it down real dark and pitch black except for all of this, and I smoked a ton of weed.
Some of that sticky icky.
I've
done drugs.
And
Those
it was
left-handed
just
cigarettes, as you will.
Yeah, a little jazz cigarette, and oh my god, bad idea.
Yeah,
Very bad idea.
Let me ask you, Chris, will you be finishing this game?
No, I'm only gonna play in the daytime. Like
Chris is gonna chug like
sober.
Chris is gonna chug like 3 of those palm juices before he plays it the next time.
Yeah, like flush my system of all impurities.
Yikes!
He's gonna detox.
I'm going
before he plays
straight edge for this shit.
Chris is gonna come back to the podcast with the X's like on the back of his hands.
Hey guys, I don't do drugs or alcohol anymore. Bye.
He's gonna be sponsored by what's that new like water company that's all for like metal bands?
Oh, what?
I don't know. They got like the skull in the can.
He's gonna be drinking water. He's gonna be drinking water that was.
I think it's like liquid death or something like that.
Yeah, liquid death. He's gonna be drinking. He's gonna be drinking.
Liquid death. If you guys want to sponsor us, please do.
Yeah, we're here for it. He's gonna be drinking water that was actually produced inside of monster cans.
Oh God, that makes me miss tour water so much.
Tour water, man.
No, this entire part fucked with me.
It's so
especially once you got to a certain part of this.
I wonder if we're talking about the same part. Is this the pathfinding sequence?
Yeah, sure.
So
is.
this was cool because I was getting irritated at first. So basically, what it is you are essentially playing. You're walking through his memory and you are reliving. What's his first name? Amir.
Amir.
You're basically reliving Amir's memories, but as Daniel. So that's why it's all fucking
and in this really fucked up
disconjointed and shit like that. So there's this one part where you're basically walking through these small rooms. It's got like a bunk bed, like a small table, and there are TVs in the room. There's 4 exits. Basically, think of your cardinal directions.
Wait, I fucked something up. There's something that happens before this
go ahead.
that is kind of integral to Amir's story.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Is it the drug thing?
Yeah, because like before you go into like the maze, you're like walking through like basically a simulation of like the actual apartment building, and like you're walking up to people's doors and it's people being like, what the fuck, man, I told you not to come here during the day, or like my wife is home, or like, just leave it over there, like your money's coming to you, just fucking
here's
leave
what
it.
I'll say, because here's what is really cool to say about like what's happening here is that like this is all fucked up and you're scared and it's fucking with you, but like it's telling, like you are learning about like Amir and like how he ended up in this situation.
Again, it just comes back to sort of that. This is almost like a show and tell, but done in such a good way that it doesn't feel like it's getting crammed down your throat with exposition.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, Zach.
No, you're good. No, because that was an integral part. So that leads into this part
you find out that Amir sells drugs, and it's very important to know who you're talking to because you get apartment numbers.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to use those later.
Yeah.
So
he's selling, what is it, Substance 45? Is that what it's called?
Something like that, yeah. Which is like this world's equivalent of like a combination of smack and heroin.
Yeah. But it's an unsnuffulant from what I can tell, because you have the rebreathers.
Yeah. I mean, so it was in I think there was also a bottle of this in the fridge in Adam's apartment.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And so then it leads to a couple of short sequences where you're walking down hallways in a prison, and there are different cells that are open, and you can see like, and also there are no people. It's all like these weird sort of like twitchy silhouettes, like silhouette shadow people. Which
fuck that.
Which is like the perfect fucking design choice for this because it works so well.
It sure is.
And you're going and you see like shadow guards beating the shit out of the one. There's one part where you walk by and just every door that you walk by, there's just this guy banging on, just screaming, "Let me out!" Like this guttural voice is just getting louder and louder.
Like the hallways are shaking and like the lights are flickering on and off. Like it's not cool.
So it's the worst Eric Andre meme known to man.
So, but then everything fucking goes steady, and you're in this room, and it's a tiny room, like I described before. And there are entrances and exits in the 4 cardinal directions. But in each room, there is a television. So if you just walk through all willy-nilly, you'll notice that the room is repeating itself. And this was really cool, because it took me a little while to figure. It took me to the point where I was actually getting irritated before I figured it out. And if you look at the TV, it shows you a door and a little, like, it'll be like a shelf with like a cleaning bottle on it or something like that. And then you look, and there's the door with the shelf with the cleaning bottle. So you walk through that one, and then that TV shows, like, the door next to the bunk bed. And then you walk through that one, and that's how it sort of guides you through without ever explicitly telling you. And
hey, go this way, dumbass.
Once I figured that out, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Because before I was like, what the fuck? I'd walk through the same room like 8 times.
When you think about it, like, if you're trying to follow this, like, drug dealer's, like, path that he would take, more than likely you're going to be somewhat disjointed and like all discombobulated, but also really using the context clues that it's given you. It's really interesting, and like how they like kind of
talk about like a fucking combination of an existential nightmare and an I have no mouth but I must scream situation.
God.
Where like if you don't figure it out, how you just keep looping into the same room over and over and over again. Like,
this game does have it seems like there is a lot of that. I have no mouth and I must scream. I didn't even think about that until you just brought it up. Like, by the way, if you're listening to this and you have not read that short story and you're really into kind of like dystopian nightmare scenarios, highly recommend it. It's like a 20-minute read. It's amazing.
Do yourself one better. There's an audiobook for free on YouTube that's read by the author Harlan Ellison, and he does a wonderful job at it.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you're on the go, or you like,
but
don't like reading, or you can't read like Zach, that's
after you've listened to every episode of this podcast and the Patriot Club, go back and listen to that.
I can only write. I can't read.
Yeah, he can write real good, but he can't read at all. That's why he wants us to read his stuff that he writes, because he needs to make sure that it makes sense.
He's really good at grammar somehow, but like
somehow.
But the syntax is a mess.
But yeah, so you're kind of like scoping through, like you go through this TV room, and it's really cool. And there's like a scene, like a sequence where you have to walk across these like floating platforms with these, and like make it to these like showers to like make it across this like chasm.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that section.
I might be getting these out of order, but there's another sequence where you have to walk through.
It doesn't matter. It all fucking blends.
You can be forgiven for not remembering, because it's just so disorienting.
There's like one where you're like walking through like a club, and it's like pulsing, and the people are like, there's like a fucking sea of shadow people around.
See, that one was cool, because as the music and the lights were pulsing, like the shadow people would speed up and slow down with the pulses. Oh, it's so fucking creepy, but it's so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really effective.
But after a certain point, Amir dies. He succumbs to his wounds, and your thing pulls you out as an emergency extraction procedure, because you are not supposed to jack into the matrix of dead people. That comes up later.
This is one of like the 4 times that I had to use the synchrosine, because you are very out of sync after you do this, because you were literally just inside another person's head.
Yeah.
Then died while you were in the
I was going to say, which would be best described as a dying fever dream.
And so you can go after these drug people to kind of learn more information, but ultimately you are led to this tattoo parlor that is in the courtyard of the apartment building. So you can go there, go across the field of pigeons.
So while we're on the tattoo parlor, did anyone else, I mean, this is the idea that I got, because like a lot of tattoo parlors are also like generally the places for like current like quote unquote body modification, like like piercings or like like dermals or whatever like that. It seems like that this place not only did like that kind of thing, and by the way, the tattoos in this game are really cool. You can like go look at like the artist's like actual work. They're really cool, because like some of them are like basically holograms that like project from your arm. And then the artwork itself is just really cool, so definitely check that out if you decide to pick this game up and play it with us. But there are also just like arms hanging off of like basically the counter. So it kind of seems like, you could walk in there and be like, hey, I need to get, a new piece. And it's literally just entire new arm.
So
sorry, I can't talk right now.
It's a body shop almost.
Yeah, basically.
So before we get into this is where I had a big diverging, because before I went to the tattoo parlor, I actually went on a totally separate path that actually led to another memory sequence. So it was funny.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. He told me about this, and I had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah, so I kind of divergent paths. I'm sure we'll get into this stuff later, but yeah, and eventually I got back to the tattoo parlor.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had literally no idea.
So,
we talked about this earlier.
Yeah, that's really curious.
Is this something that we will be able to do later? As part of the story,
this is part of it. This was unrelated. It was because I was investigating on the second floor, because I followed up on some of the drug rooms. And I was like, fuck it, I'm on the second floor. Let me go talk to some other people anyway. And because of that, it spawned this other side investigation that you could follow. So you didn't miss it. It's just
so
because
side quest,
full
then.
well applaud you for being able to have, enough like cognitive sense to like put things together. I'm literally just going from story beat to story beat because I'm like, I want this to be over. I want this to be over. I want this to be over so fucking bad.
I wasn't even like, as far as me goes, I wasn't even thinking about like going. Like I talked to some of the people and I was just like, okay, off to the thing.
Well, literally, like
it was...
while we were in the memory sequence and he's visiting like room 209 or whatever, I had a notebook by me and I fucking jotted down like 209, 211. I was writing down the numbers. Even though later you find a jar that gives you the numbers as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's right behind him actually. You can pick it up and it's got like pills and shit and it's got the numbers written on tape. But yeah, so it was literally just because I was already on the second floor and I was like, well, I haven't talked to anyone up here yet. Let me go talk. And then you talk to this one character and that leads you down this whole other path that lets you use your dream eater on someone else.
I'll have to check that out. If I still can, even.
You should be able to because it's not related to the NOAC. It's not related to the NOAC case at all.
Okay.
I think that there's multiple endings to this game, so it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out for each of us.
I guarantee I'm gonna get the bad ending.
I like it's very straight. I think it's because and I think it might honestly be because I watched Blade Runner and I was like really into Blade Runner. But I'm so like as unsettling and as scary and as like uncomfortable as this game makes me, I'm so like jazzed about like the world and like the aesthetics and like the theming of it that like I want to like look for more stuff and I want to like do more.
You owe it to yourself too because the world building. And okay, so like let me tell you about this one room. I won't tell you what floor it's on. I won't tell you the whole story behind it. But there's a room you can go into where and by the way, at this point, this was my second recording session. This is when I was up for about 26 hours straight at this point because I couldn't sleep because of some other shit that was going on. So I was like, fuck it. I'm suffering from some light insomnia here. I'm sleep deprived. Let me just go and torture myself by playing this fucking game some more. But there's one room that I discovered where you go in. Oh, well, first off, it scares shit because all you hear is clank, clank, clank. And I was like, oh, it's Rudy again. But,
it's not Rudy.
It ain't Rudy.
It wasn't Rudy. What it was it was a door that had like this automatic metal like security door that was being blocked by a cabinet, so it kept just slamming down like it was trying to close, and I fully expected for this thing to fucking kill me as I was like crouched under and like looking up as I'm walking underneath
No.
But just clank, 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 and then I walk in and so I won't go into full detail, but let's just say that there are 2 fish tanks in the back that just have an unidentified biomass in them. There is a pot on the stove with a kidney in it. And there are sheets of drying...
human kidney?
Yeah, a human kidney. And there are sheets of drying skin on the wall.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You got...
Cool! This game.
You guys owe it to yourselves.
Don't get me wrong. Like, the atmosphere of this game, I love. I love the setting. I love the kind of noir feel I get from it, because I do get a big Blade Runner vibes. But once again, I am the biggest Nancy boy of this podcast. I will fully admit that.
I will say, I think that's probably true, considering that I am encouraging, me and Zach are encouraging you to play Dead Space, and Chris is willing to play Dead Space.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, no.
Chris, if you do play it, you should definitely stream it, because I'd love to see your reactions.
I'm a less athletic, less attractive Isaac Lim, as far as this is concerned.
Less Asian, also. Let's
Asian as well. I am fully less Asian.
I think that might be the most important distinction right there.
Yeah, like you missed the big one. Like you missed the big one.
I was gonna say the big one, but yeah. So you guys owe it to. And then there was another one that I forget what floor it was on, but I like walked into this hallway, and then this wasn't in a memory sequence. This was just in the game, and as I was going through, the hallway just kept repeating, and the hallway kept getting more and more fucked up as I was going through. And actually, there was another moment where like I opened a fucking like fridge that appeared, and there were a bunch of dismembered heads that were like screaming at me.
Cool.
And I fucking closed it, and then I opened it again. I went, "You guys having a bad day, huh?"
I mean, so there's some side shit.
As freaky as it is, it's cool because you learn so much more about the world as well. Like you learn about these black market dealings, or like, you know, people are trying to escape, so they're like, all right, but it's gonna literally cost you an arm and a leg, and they're like, whatever, I'll get fucking prosthetics later, you know, just get me out of the area and shit like that. Like
So why are they taking body parts? Are they just like, you know, taken from one to like give to other people? Or?
I think it's just another form of fucking currency at this point.
What if it's like a thing for like the upper echelon, like they don't want like, you know, like cybernetic like implants, like they
that's a good actual, fucking point. Like, it might be
they want to be completely human.
Yeah, fucking hack an arm off of some fucking skell down in Section C, and then, you know, sell it to the upper echelon for a fucking nice buck.
Yeah. I mean, like that would make sense. I mean, like we're already talking about like, you know, with the tattoo parlor, we're already talking about like body shops. You know, like. Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. That
it's so funny too, because I'm playing this game concurrently with playing Deus Ex Human Revolution, and it's fun. It's funny to like go from this game where it's kind of, you know, dirty and dingy and the shit's just sort of hanging out, you know, in the body shop, and then you go into like the limb clinic in Human Revolution, and they're all, you know, fucking vacuum sealed and hanging in nice rows, like ready to be opened for surgery and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's a stark difference in the presentation for sure. And this game is just like so like gory. That's the thing that upsets me the most about it.
Oh yeah,
I don't handle gore,
but it's also it's not gratuitous gore. Like it feels real.
It makes sense for the world, and it leaned hard immediately when you walk into Adam's apartment and you see that body. But like it's all.
Well, actually, what's funny with that too is I didn't realize at first because it goes into the fucking
heart attack
where everything gets blurry. So I didn't realize till afterward that he was missing his head. I thought it was just a dead body.
Oh.
And then I looked at.
Oh no! I saw it as soon.
And then I looked and I was like, "Oh shit! Like that's not good." So being sleep deprived and playing this game is not a great idea, especially when
do not recommend.
Especially when you're sleep deprived because of some post traumatic shit. You know.
Yeah. No. Like I could not imagine.
Like I think I texted Cole about that. I was like about to play this after, you know, fucking not being able to sleep. He was like,
you texted the group where you're just like, hey, you should go to sleep, baby.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's like, I can't sleep.
Oh yeah, because Cole was like, you shouldn't do that to yourself.
Yeah, you should be nicer to yourself, dude.
Yeah, you should be
peek
kind.
Behind the screen once again. I actually care about this dickhead.
Yeah. For better or for worse, we do care about each other. But yeah, so that's another side tangent that we could possibly go on. Maybe we'll talk about that in part 2 or the listener response episode a little bit. But if anybody else chooses to go do that stuff, but the critical path is we got to go to this tattoo parlor.
Yeah,
and so you do, and you can kind of like look around. One of the computers on here has like a bunch of these designs, like finished tattoos, and they're actually really cool.
Like it has like both like real tattoos, like I'm assuming from like real life, like
they definitely look it, that's like, for sure.
Like someone's personal shop, which by the way, kudos to that artist. All those tattoos look amazing. And then they have like actual like in-game tattoos. Like
I think Amir's tattoo, his like head tattoo that says 15 and Roman numerals is on there.
It should also be noted, and this kind of made me laugh because you know, most tattoo parlors you go in and they've got some fucking metal playing or whatever. This place has like super soothing like classical music playing, like almost like classical jazz. And it made me laugh because it actually made me think back to when I got laser eye surgery. And it was very similar to the music they were piping into that place to calm people down along with the Valium as they were about to get their eyes lasered.
Yeah.
You can't underestimate the Valium.
It wasn't the Valium that calmed people down. It was the Kenny G in the background that made you really calm down.
Hey, for me, it was a combination of both.
But yeah, of course, you walk in, you can explore some stuff. There's some cassette tapes in here you can listen to. But of course, you have to go into the next room, which is obscured by a curtain that you have to open.
Yay!
Nothing worse than having to hold R2 before fucking ripping that curtain aside.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you walk in and there's Helena, and she is dead.
Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that I could say?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So long and good night.
So long and good night.
Good night.
And
if we carried on this way,
so you do your quick little investigation. You go through bio mode. You find fucking. It looks like someone tore her throat out. Very similar to a mirror. She's got big uneven lacerations on her torso. Also, it should be noted, if you do bio mode in their apartment, you find this unidentified hair sample.
Yeah.
And you find more of this with Helena. And then you look around and you can find... So there's a recorder that you play that's got this weird sort of ominous message with like religious undertones.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's like if we don't admit our wrongdoings and insist that we're right, like something about like the simpletons investigating my crime could find themselves justified, and they can't like a progress demands sacrifice and like shit like that. It's very ominous,
very
and
very
weird.
culty.
Which
very culty.
so you do that. You can also look around. You find like the auto injector tattoo guns and shit like that, which is pretty cool. And then you go to use your Dream Eater again, but your system actually stops you and it cites some regulation from I think the 2070s where you are not allowed to use your Dream Eater on an already deceased person. But Daniel,
and he fucking takes that safe mode off, baby.
Yeah, he uses a command override.
Fucking debug mode.
Yeah, debug mode. It's like emergency ejection is not like we can't pull you out. Like this is not it's bad, dude. You're doing bad.
Yeah. So then you jack into her mind,
and shit gets even
That's what she
weirder.
said.
I forget how it starts, but I know what part I want to talk about, and Cole knows what part I want to talk about.
It starts on a computer.
Yeah.
And you're doing a job interview.
Yeah.
For a programmer at Chiron, and it basically is like, will you work for the good of the company? Will you sacrifice for the company?
Oh, it's good.
And basically, you just have to answer yes to everything. Otherwise, you can't proceed.
Well, so what happens is if you hit no, I guess it gives like a scare code, and like in big red letters it says like "Don't lie" or something like that.
Yeah,
and then when you proceed, it only gives you the yes option afterward, right? Because I just answered yes throughout. I was like, this is what they want me to say, so I'm gonna say because I know how this shit works.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big and we're going to talk about like the experience through this part, but like the big key that you need to know about this is there are two things that happen. Is that at some point you jump to, I think, Daniel's memories,
And they start to cross over a little bit.
They start to cross over, and you find out about how Adam's mom was in the hospital and they were doing this procedure to like fix her, and it obviously didn't work. And so you find out about that, and then you also find that Helena is working for Adam, sneaking secrets out of Chiron so that he could do something.
Well, I was going to say, before we get into that, when you go into their apartment, when you first investigate a mirror, you find her ID card.
Yeah,
and she's like,
before you go to the
she's like a junior programmer for this company or something. So yeah, and that leads into a little bit of very scarily resulting corporate espionage.
Ooh, just the worst kind of corporate espionage. But you basically the way that this fucking area starts is you're walking after you answer yes a bunch to the computer. You start walking. You walk into like this very dark, empty office place, and then the lights just flash on, and like all of the
bunch of
shadow people are just rushing around, working and doing shit. And y'all.
So have you guys stopped and listened to like the announcements that play overhead while it's going?
Nope.
It's some shit out of like They Live. It's like, a hard worker is a happy worker. Work hard to provide for yourself. Work hard to provide for your family. Work hard to provide for the corporation. And then there's like, and then to get even more into 1984, they've got the big fucking wall display with a bunch of fucking, not even subliminal messages with shit like that. And then if you look at the ceiling, there are cameras every few feet. just so they can monitor their workers. Like, these guys took the subject matter and fucking ran with it.
Yeah. Then there's another person. You walk through this office and you wind up going through the break room, and there's one person in the break room that is not a shadow person. You walk up to it and it forces you backwards and it goes dark in the office again. You don't remember that?
Don't. You gotta remember, I was up at like 28 hours straight at this point.
That's true. Yeah, it's a mirror. It forces you backwards, and it's just a mirror in that dark area.
Because he's like sitting, right?
And he's complaining about soup, and then he like gets up and like throws the table. And if you turn around, that weird snake claw thing like
that thing scared the fuck out of me the first 5 times it showed up.
Jesus Christ. So you see that thing and you follow it, and you have to kind of like walk through the office, and it's dark again. All the screens are flashing. It's not cool.
Nope.
And then after a certain point, you you kind of walk up and you see this like big monster thing, and it rushes you. Yeah,
he sure
and
does.
Then disappears. Uncool.
Yeah.
And then is this where we get into the part that I was talking to you during, Cole?
Sure was.
So,
I think so,
it was funny because, well, I'll let you start this out.
So then it does a cut to you're back in front of a computer, and the only option is download. So you have to hold R2 and it fucking downloads. Like, it's basically downloading to a floppy disk, it feels like.
I just want to throw this out there before you continue. I got to this point, got killed, put the controller down, said, fuck this for the night.
So I had a similar experience with that. So once you do that, all of a sudden the screen shakes. There's this very deep booming sound. This god-awful but also awesome soundtrack starts playing where it just sounds like someone is just running the fucking whatever the thing for a violin is called over the strings, just all disconcerted, and you're getting stalked. Is it a bow? Dude, I'm not musical. You know this.
Yeah, the bow.
And this fucking thing that almost looks like the cousin of Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 is like stalking around the office. And again, at like 20.
Well, this is like close to the end of the section, but there's some more creepy stuff that happens in between.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You have to like get the the prescription downloaded from the computer, and then you wind up back in Helena and Amir's apartment, and like
I totally forgot about that section.
Forcing you through the room with all the speakers and shit. It like forces you through all these rooms where all these speakers and like washers like booming, like they're washing machines, but they're acting like speakers, and it's just like booming music at you, and it's like distorting your vision. And then like there's like a bunch of shit where like you go into this like the hospital, and then you see, this is where like Daniel's memories are like creeping in, is that you walk down a hallway and you see this child whose face is obscured by darkness, which already, no.
Kids in horror games, man, no.
Yeah.
You
and
guys
then you
must
walk
have
up to
loved
him
the
and he asks
TV
you if
section
mom's going
then.
to be all right, and you realize that this is Adam. This is Daniel's memory. Now, why? What's going on? It's probably because he did a thing that he's not supposed to do. And Adam disappears. You go into this hospital room and you talk to his wife, and she tells you that she wants to go through with this procedure, and apparently bad stuff happens, and then the little snake guy fucking attacks your face.
I can't believe I totally forgot about that whole section.
Yeah, it's pretty critical, the whole story of
I'm glad you fucking interrupted.
Yeah.
And that's when then we get into the office and you're supposed to download this stuff, and this fucking guy.
Can I hop in before Zach continues here?
Yeah.
Because I have to tell this little anecdote. Because, like I said, I got killed by this thing and I put the controller down, right? So I'm talking to Zach. Like, we're just like texting back and forth. And I think this was around the time like where you were staying up for that late.
It was.
And so I was like, dude, like, where are you? And we figured out that we were at the same part. And I was like, dude, I got killed by that thing and I put the controller down. He's like, yeah, I did the same thing, but then I went back to it, and then I got to the second one. I was like, there's fucking 2 of them.
Yeah, so
you have to sneak. So the first part, you walk into this room and it's a smaller office, and you have to get into this hallway that this thing comes out of. And then there's a bigger office area, and you have to get to the opposite end of the area and get into this like green, like hole to like get to the next area, and then you have to get to the third area.
Yep.
Which is like where you download these documents and data from these different points
terminals.
on the, and he's skulking around all of them.
But yeah, so this thing is, like I said, it looks almost like a cousin of Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. Mm-hmm. Its face is all like sloughed off, and its eyes and mouth are glowing. It's got like a club for an arm.
Yeah, it sure does.
And being up for as long as I did, this combined with the music and the headphones and all that, it was my mind was like ready to snap. Somehow made it past the first one unscathed. The second one, I was sneaking, and if it sees you, it lets out a roar. And it starts running after you, and unless you are across the room, you cannot outrun this thing. And what it does is it picks you up, it roars in your face, and it slams you down to the ground. And all while this
stomps your ass.
All while this fucking horrifying, but at the same time awesome, like violin cello music is going. And then the second time I tried it, I was sneaking, and I got to the end, but you actually have to crouch to get through there, and I didn't realize that. So I'm like, I'm at the end, what do I do? And this thing runs up and it grabs me, does it, and literally like it just sent this shudder through my body. And in the video you can hear me go, I'm gonna take a break now.
So I actually the first part was like, oh god, it's scary. The second part, I like couldn't figure out the path, and it took me a second to realize that like the light that it emits is its field of vision.
Yeah,
it's like a cone, kind of like classic Metal Gear Solid, where there's a cone of vision, and if you stay outside of that cone, it won't see you. But it's just displayed physically on the screen as like a cone of light, and I didn't realize that at first, and so I kept on getting my ass like got basically, and after a couple times, I was just like, "Fuck, this isn't even scary anymore." Hey, I hate this.
And that's what I came to realize too when I played it after I actually got some sleep, was the section was almost like laughably easy. I mean, to the point where like for the second part, the thing fucking saw me and I just sprinted to the exit and like crouched and got through and I was fine. And then I think the third one was the most stressful because it's the same thing, and I thought it was going to throw a curveball where there were like going to be two or whatever.
Yeah, no. It's just a bigger area.
The one. The third one was easier for me because it was a bigger area.
It was,
and there was more places.
Well,
to hide.
especially once I figured out that the cone of light is what it saw, because I thought it was just an area of effect thing, like real vision. But the third one, so it's this huge section, and you have to go to 3 different computers and download them, and download information from all 3 of them while this thing is actively hunting you. And it's actually pretty cool. Like I could see it being scary if you were like hiding under a desk and then the thing fucking looked under the desk and saw you.
Yeah.
But like I said, at that point I had slept. I was fresh mind, so I fucking blew through. I was like, whatever, guy.
You fucking joy.
Yeah, you fucking jabroni.
Chris, did you have how did you feel about this whole sneaking mission?
This kind of reminded me of Amnesia. A little bit.
Yeah.
Never played that game.
Where you're almost like doing a little looky-loo here.
That is a game that I do not want to play. Fucking Amnesia.
Yeah, don't play that game. I
don't.
played like 30 minutes of it, and I was like, nah. So, I kind of figured out that like the Watcher things, I don't know if that's what they're called, but that's what I'm calling them. It's almost like using the Soliton radar to get around them.
Yeah.
And if you just stick with that, because they can't really hear you, they can only see you. They're observers. Oh, is that what they are?
What?
Oh, did they? Who
You
watches?
said the name of the thing.
Who
observes
observes? Yeah, who observes the observers? Yeah, there we go.
Who observes the observant?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
We're gonna see a giant observer with a just big old dick just somewhere in this game.
Yeah,
man.
Cue that little clip of "Are we the baddies?"
Oh man, but yeah. So you download this shit from the computers, and this like swirling like thing of data lets you teleport out, and you're back in this apartment, and this fucking room is flipping the fuck out.
Oh yeah. Imagine like Gary's mod, with the physics turned all the way up, and like
Yeah.
everything has the fucking rocket packs attached to it.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
and again, the room's fucking screaming at you. The things like floorboards are exploding. It's very unsettling. And then you have to like take this computer monitor with a cable underneath it, and like drag it around, and it's like this crying baby.
This part
but when
fucked
you,
me up
when you're holding
purely
it.
because of like the crying and the screaming kids and
Yep.
all that,
Yep, same
and
thing.
the fact that it
same
would not
thing.
stop.
Nope.
Did you see when you plug it into a wall? I think I remember seeing on one of the monitors that if you plug it into a wall to open the door, the monitor will flash "Don't leave
Don't
me"
leave
with
me.
a sad face
That's
on it. Like a
that's
sad.
the very last one.
Yeah. Oh, it is the last one, isn't it?
Yeah, because it flashes
because you're
red.
having to like.
Because when you
'Cause you-
when
'cause you
you're
plug
holding
it
on
in.
to it, the kids are laughing
It's
and they sound
happy.
like they're
Oh, yeah,
playing
it's
and all
happy.
that.
Yeah.
But it's when you're not holding on to it or when you plug it in and you walk away, that's when the crying and the baby screaming starts and all that. And I think
Starts coughing at one point,
Yeah.
which fucked with me.
yeah, anything to do with like kids being sick or being hurt, that fucks with me on a whole different level.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not great. But yeah, so you have to like cart it. You plug it into doors. Doors open. You walk through. You take it with you, and then you plug it into this like big giant panel, and you hear this conversation that Helena and Adam are having about like what they're doing, basically.
Adam or Amir?
I think it's
I think it's
Adam,
Adam
because
she's like, what am I actually doing? Like, this isn't like for like weapons or anything like that. He's like, don't worry about it.
That's right, yeah.
and then once you do, you're teleported to this field.
This part was freaky for me for a couple reasons.
So basically your goal in this field is to get across this field. There's these like you can't move at first, but so because it's kind of showing you what your deal is. You have to make it across. There's a spotlight shining from across the field, and there's all these weird drones with these spotlights.
Oh
shining
yeah, because
down.
what it does is he
And-
shows one of the snake things crawling, and like two of these drones like zoom in to like
Yep.
fucking look at it, and then they resume their normal patrol routes.
and so your goal is to get across this field and not get spotted by these drones. You would assume, because then bad things would
Well,
happen.
and so I found that out because I did it pretty realistically. I stuck to the edge because there's that initial clearing at first. So I stuck to the edge of that. I was, sort of stealthing around, sneaky snake. Then there was the second clearing, which I just sprinted across and somehow didn't get seen. But then I wasn't looking up, so I wasn't paying attention, so I just kept walking. And too late, I realized that it gives you fucking auditory feedback if you're spotted.
Sure does.
And then all of a sudden, the camera snaps up, and I'm looking at one, and the light turns red, and then it restarts you. And then I made
Yeah.
it through the second time without an issue.
So this is, I think, the part of the game where I kind of put together how, like, the means of travel that you're using, right? Mm-hmm. If you think about, like, what you're doing is hacking into the mind, and there's the idea that, like, there are these neural pathways, right? And you're, like, just cutting right across all of that in a person's brain. And you're just, like, tearing through shit. And, like, things are...
That's
and
interesting.
things from Daniel's mind are blending with things from Helena. What's her last name?
Noack. Yeah, Noack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Helena's mind, and it's just like it's extremely trippy when you think about it in that way.
Yeah, it is. I never even thought about it in that context.
Yeah, neither.
Can I throw a theory at you?
As long as it's a game theory.
Yeah, it is a game theory. Thanks for watching. Oh my god!
Before we move on, I almost pissed myself when Sam made the joke when we were playing A Way Out, where he's like, "Thanks for watching Matthew Pathew's game theory."
Wow.
Matthew Pathew. By all accounts, Matt Pat is like one of the sweetest dudes on YouTube and in general. But like, it's fun to make fun of him.
Oh, sure. We're punching up.
We are punching up for sure. My theory is that the monster is like the manifestation of Helena's paranoia about Chiron catching her doing this shit.
Oh,
I could definitely
1000%.
see that.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can
I
vibe
don't
with
think
that.
Chiron's got a fucking nemesis that says break glass in case of corporate
No,
espionage.
I don't think so either. I just think that would be a good way to explain why is this random monster chasing me through this?
No, you're 100% right.
Right, because you're going through nightmares essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I also have the theory that it's why you can't hack into the brains of dead people, because remember we didn't see these people in the first mind hack because Amir
He
was still alive
when it happened. Oh, so that's why there weren't any like crazy monsters in that one chasing you.
Yeah, it's like when a person dies, there's like brain death, where like the body starts to decay and shut down, and like
it adds like that level of instability because you don't have.
Are you saying it's like the degeneration like of the body like that you're dealing with?
Because that does make sense, because the further you got in Amir's mind, the crazier it got,
because he was
the closer to death he was getting. Yeah.
Right.
So like, and that actually makes a lot of sense, because my technically second dreamscape that I went through, the person is alive and essentially conscious through most of it. So it's got some weird stuff, but it's pretty stable for the most part. So I think you're on point with that theory.
That makes sense. Okay.
Look at us being theory boys, but that's just our theory.
An MGM
theory. Thanks for listening. Before we,
it'd be really funny if you cut in the ending music right there, but then we came back.
Before we hear, because I want to talk about my experiences in this field. Before we hear from Cole and Chris, I want to do them first. Zach sent us a screenshot of his chat with Cole about the monster sequence. So he texts Cole, he says, "Which dream sequence have you done so far?" Cole says, "I'm currently being chased in an office and had to put it down. I assume it's Chiron offices. I got caught and had to put it down." Zach says, "That's exactly where I just put it down. I snuck past the first one and got caught by the second." And in all caps goes, "There's two? Wait, what?" So that's fun. So Chris,
yes,
did you have any trouble with the drones in this field sequence?
No, I didn't really have any trouble with them. I was just like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, and I just booked it.
So that was kind of my mindset at this point. Well, actually, it clicked for me when I was doing the whole like crying TV poll thing, where I was like, I need to get the fuck out of this chick's mind.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I didn't have that much issues either. Like they passed over me, but I wasn't moving.
Oh yeah, if you're not moving, it's fine.
Yeah, they just pass over you, and so like once I realized, I was like, oh shit, like I can just stay still. I'm great at doing that when I'm frightened anyway. So yeah, I'll just do that, and then I got to the point in the field where
most people have the fight or flight complex. Cole has the flight, fright, or fight complex.
What was it called? Somebody. Oh, I'll bring up this later, but was it a? Can you have a flight and fight response? I'm here to tell you yes.
I'm here to tell you yes.
So, Sam, how did you handle the field?
So I was in this state of like, I need, like, again, it was like I need to get the fuck out of here. A little portion of my brain recognized that these things are dangerous and I can't get caught by them, but the rest of my brain was just like, fuck this, and I sprinted in a straight line, and they all stayed off to the side. I didn't get caught.
That's funny. Yeah, like, I wonder if it's randomized, because like mine, they started in like a pretty they were just going in concentric circles, but as I kept going more, they started sort of like randomizing their patterns. So like you'd have one going like this, and all of a sudden it'd be zigzagging, and another one would be doing smaller circles kind of near that. So I did the whole thing sort of like not watching where I was going, but like looking up to make sure that I wasn't going to be like spotted. And then as one would pass over, I'd look to get my bearings as to where I had to go. And then I'd keep going, looking up.
God. But yeah, your end goal is this beam of light, and it's another computer that you
it's a random fucking cubicle out in the middle of this field.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's a field of like what would at first appear to be wheat, but then as you look at it, it's almost like it almost looks like VHS tape.
Yeah, like celluloid.
Is that what that's called?
I think so. Like, I mean, film. Like,
okay.
It looks like, Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It does kind of. It says like weird. Again, it's weird, like techie, freaky looking shit. But yeah, so you download the last thing and you flash back to the computer you did the test on, and you talk to Adam, and they're talking back and forth about how like I'm paranoid. They're watching me. Adam's like, you're fine. Nobody's onto you.
They would have
Don't
already
worry
done
about
something
it.
if they were.
Exactly. And she's like, maybe they're messing with us, and he goes, why? What purpose would that serve? And then she's like, because they're sadists, and like they want to get their rocks off or something like that.
Sadists.
Yeah, and Adam's just like, I was with them for long enough. I know this not what they're like. Just keep going. And then you have to like walk through the office again, and it's all fucking glitchy as shit.
This part was trippy because like the floors were both see-through and mirrored, and like, and also at one point I got fucked up because I was going and the fucking violoncello music from when you're getting stalked started playing. I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm not doing this shit again, especially when I can't see where I'm going.
Yeah. And then you get to this end, and then you see, I think it's a mirror. It like flashes around, and this fucking weird monster creature is like going to attack
it almost
him,
looks like a Wanamingo, but with like werewolf hair.
A what?
A Wanamingo?
No, I don't.
What?
What?
No, I'm
A
good.
Wendigo?
No, there's another one. Hold on.
Wanamingo.
In
That's
fact,
my
I don't
favorite.
want a mango.
Wanamingo.
Yeah, I'm good without the mango.
Wanamingo. Don't
Thank
you
you.
wanna Wanamingo? Don't you wanna?
Oh god damn it! You're right. It was a Wendigo. I was thinking of the thing from Fallout.
A mango?
Oh, yeah, Wanamingo is from Fallout 2. My bad. Yeah, a Wendigo is what I was thinking of.
But yeah, so you see this Wanamingo attack Amir.
That's the title of this episode. Want a mango?
Wanamingo. But yeah, so you see this thing, and then you walk through more TVs, and like it's interspersed with like these like very strange, like very terrifying like close-ups of I think Helena's face in the dark, and it's really not cool.
But like post being fucked up.
Mm-hmm. And then you and then you walk through more TVs. You go through another like club scene. You walk through some more TVs. A fucking pigeon falls from the sky and like crashes in front of you. You walk.
Oh, that was fucked up. If you stay there, more pigeons fall and they start to pile up.
Really?
Yeah, like every like
God.
4 or 5 seconds.
What is it with you in staying places that you obviously shouldn't be staying?
Because I listen, man, I'm so scared but infatuated by this game that I like have to like try to take in as much as I can. Also, I sent what a fucking Wanamingo looks like to the group chat, and I still think it would be pretty scary if one of those fucking things jumped through the window at you.
What? It looks like a.
Oh god!
What was that Stephen King?
It looks like a Langolier but with legs.
Yeah, a Langolier but with like arms and legs.
Like little like Kermit arms.
Oh man,
That's like Nega Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Nega Pac-Man. But yeah, you walk past the birds, you walk into another room, and then like the lights turn on, and suddenly you see a mirror in a chair, and he's flipping out, and the computer says, "You don't lie to us again." From
that part
earlier. And then you appear outside of the tattoo shop, and isn't there? And this could be my brain just freaking out, but wasn't there a giant pigeon on top of the tattoo shop? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad I didn't just invent that in my weird scared brain.
Unlike the giant BTs, I saw the giant pigeon.
Okay, cool. and then you work into the tattoo shop and you see Helena kind of like frozen in the hallway and she's running from something.
She keeps yelling 3615.
Which is a password that you need. And then,
that might be important.
And then nothing else happens. Absolutely nothing else happens.
No.
Oh no! Nothing else happens at all, except for the fucking.
Cole, I think you should tell us.
Yeah,
Nope.
I think you should tell us what happens.
Nope,
Please
nothing
tell
else
us what
happens.
Sir?
You find out you actually come back and like she's alive and everyone thinks happy and then she's right there with Adam.
And it was just a surprise birthday party for Dan.
And we've been lying about this entire time. We're not doing a second episode on this. The
game
game's
was
over.
over.
Everyone's happy. Lazarski and Adam and Helena all go to a My Chemical Romance concert. They all become Class A citizens. It's just a really happy. No, a Wanna Mango is right behind you, it's like actively attacking.
Yeah,
and it's very scary and not okay. And then you get booted from Helena's head, and
It's
Daniel's
really fucked up at that point.
Well, it's like he's glitched. His eyes are glitching. You have to take some synchrosine. He's like chanting, "I am in control. I am in control."
Yeah.
As he's
And
standing
let's not
up
forget,
like,
kids, what did Adam say at the end of his phone call with us in the beginning?
Want a mango?
Don't you
not in
want a
control.
mango?
Want a mango? Don't you wanna? You are. He says you are not in control, which is uncool. Freaky.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Then you have this code, and on the back of Helena's tattoo chair is a pin pad. You enter that code that we got from the end of the dream sequence, and the secret door opens, and then it's time to explore the basement of the tattoo parlor,
Which is totally normal. And
which is totally
there's
normal, and nothing happens, and
nothing
we're going to
happens at
talk
all.
about it next time. So, how are you boys feeling? How do you
Will
feel
Cole
right
have a panic attack?
now? Probably.
Probably.
Did Sam have an anxiety attack during the Helena Nowak sequence? He sure did.
Yeah.
That makes two of us, buddy.
My anxiety attack didn't come during that. I mean, it was like earlier on in the game, but will I probably have another one? Most assuredly so, yes.
Oh no, I played this game in two chunks. I did from the beginning up until right after Amir's sequence, and then from then to literally right after Helena's sequence. And I had a panic attack both times.
Yeah.
That's about what I did, actually.
Yeah.
But mine was
I
3
got
because I
down-
stopped during the second
Right,
thing,
after
and then
the
I went all the
stealth
way
section.
to actually past where we are now. But
The reason why I was suggesting that we stop it here is because when I last played it, I got through that part and got to like the basement, and I looked through the door and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna stop right fucking here.
All right, no more. We're not giving it away. Next time, we're going to finish up our discussion of Observer. We're going to play the game. Some of us, if we're brave enough, might go back and do some of that side shit, because now we know that there is side shit.
By some of us, they mean everyone but Cole.
I'm gonna keep exploring every nook and cranny that I can.
Thank you again to Warren
Yeah.
for basically making this possible.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
I'm-
legitimately though.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have ever picked this game up otherwise.
I guarantee
And-
I wouldn't have.
I would not have, and honestly, I'm really glad that that I did, and that
Same.
we did, and we're playing it for the show, because it is a very so far has been a very stellar.
It's a great
It's been a
game.
great
It's a
bonding
really great
experience
game.
for me and Cole, unlike Portal
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. So that is it, gentlemen. Do we have any quick final thoughts about Observer, this part 1 of Observer, before we sail off into that good night for the day?
God, there's so much to talk about that we just don't have the time for.
Great game. Has definitely increased the amount that I drink because of it to help me fall asleep at night. So
Yeah. And I will say we'll probably touch on some of the side stuff and some more detail and like lore stuff on the listener response episodes as like the topic portion of our listener response. So please, if you have played this game or you are playing along with us and you were like, hey, why didn't they talk about this? We'll probably talk about it on the listener response episode.
Yeah, I'll start actually jotting down stuff that I do too, in case you guys don't get to it, so I can fucking have more details to talk about. Because it was funny, because I remember talking to Cole. I was like, how many dream sequences have you been through? He's like, 2. And I'm like, oh shit, I've been through 3 already.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this plays into the multiple endings thing, so maybe we'll have some divergent paths.
Yeah,
that
that
would
would
be
be
cool.
interesting to talk about. Yeah. The other thing that I will say here is that we are, of course, doing a listener response episode on Blade Runner and Observer. We are going to be recording that episode on the 25th of May. So please get in your responses. I would say, Chris, what would you say? I'd say probably end of day, May 24th. So we have time during the day on Monday to kind of like put the doc together and get your responses all in order.
So
if
I
you
have one thing to say about Blade Runner, since I wasn't on that episode.
yes.
Other than phenomenal movie, and much like Sam, I didn't see it till much later in life. I only saw it for the first time back in 2019. no movie has ever made me want to eat at a fictional restaurant more than that noodle place that Deckard was at.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And also, how great is the little detail that Gaff lets Deckard get his noodles to go before taking him to the police station?
we talked about that while we were watching it.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, well, not in the episode, but while we were watching it, and it was, I was just like, man, that's how you know Deckard's white, because if he was black, he wouldn't have been able to take those noodles with him.
I will say this, Zach.
What's up?
And anyone who is lucky enough to live in the Southeast near Atlanta, shouts out to my boy Isaac. There is a restaurant in Atlanta called Little Trouble.
Ooh.
That is basically a
Blade Runner
Little themed bar.
Really?
Little Trouble in Big China.
And if you look it up, it looks Blade Runner. It looks like Blade Runner. The like staff dress up like replicants.
Oh, that's awesome.
The food is like fusion food, so it's like Asian fusion with sometimes like with German or with, you know, just different types of like fusion food. It seems really, really cool. I've been meaning to get down there for a minute. One of my coworkers who works with Atlanta Brewing Company was telling me about it because he knew that I was a big cyberpunk and Blade Runner fan. He's like, you've got to check this place out. Just looking at the images of this place, it's almost exactly what I would imagine was in Blade Runner.
That's awesome.
Two things. One, I don't appreciate everybody glossing over my Big Trouble in Little China joke.
Because that movie sucks.
I didn't say it didn't suck. I'm saying you glossed over my joke. And that's what's important to me. Number two is, how do they dress up like replicants? Do they dress up like people from the movie, or
like I've seen some of the like images of like some of the white stuff. Like some of them have done like that weird like Pris makeup.
Gotcha.
Oh, cool.
I was gonna say, is like, isn't the whole point that like replicants look like humans? Or
exactly. But like they do the whole, they do have like a bit of like a futuristic like android.
Gotcha.
Sam, I love
like
what
their
you did. I
clothing.
love what you did with your mustache right there.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. My man has a strong handlebar.
I'm curling my mustache in a very villainous way. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna, like I said,
are we
next
doing
time.
2049 anytime soon, or is that for like?
So we get the request to do 2049 in the Discord. Yeah,
I believe so.
And I think it would be a cool thing to do.
I'd love to watch
cover.
it again. I would love to watch it
as much
again.
as I love the original Blade Runner, I actually saw them out of order. I saw 2049, and then I was like, oh, I need to watch the original.
Same. I need to rewatch 2049 because like I was fucking blown in that movie theater, and
dude, it is one of my biggest regrets that I did not see that movie in theaters. That and Interstellar.
I need to rewatch 2049 really bad. So yeah, so next time we're gonna finish up Observer and kind of talk about our experiences with the end of the game, and then we have our listener responses as discussed. Remember, May 24th, get your responses in to contact at metalgearmondays.com. Send those through, baby, and we will talk about it on the show. Once again, you heard it at the top of the episode, but I want to again thank our very first sponsor, Baked Right Gourmet. Who
it's so good.
It's so good. Like, I get it. I get it. It's my dad.
I bought 2 bags tonight. No promo code. It's that good.
Yeah. It's so good. The whole thing, I do want to tell this story really quickly. Is like the whole thing stemmed from, as a Christmas gift, my stepmother bought my dad this popcorn machine, and it's one of those big boxes with the wheels and like this old school popcorn machine, and he just got obsessed with it, and he started doing this, and then he just decided to do all kinds of crazy popcorn. I have not like had a bad flavor yet. My dad he's very careful. He's being very scientific about it, making sure that like the flavors are good. Like, he's doing a great job.
I got a bag of cinnamon rum and crown apple coming to me.
I do want to personally recommend again the Kevin's mix, which is a cranberry infused vodka flavored popcorn. All of the proceeds of that flavor of popcorn is going to pancreatic cancer research. That flavor was made in honor of my Uncle Kevin, who died of pancreatic cancer 2 years ago. Vodka cran was his go-to drink. So
it's a solid drink.
It is a very solid drink. It's
for sure.
It's simple, it's cheap, and it's easy, and it's delicious. And it was my uncle's favorite drink. Nowadays, even if I diverge in what I'm drinking, if I go to a bar, that's the first thing that I get ever since he passed away. So that is a really good cause in memory of a really great person. So if you're curious about that flavor, it is very good. Pick that up and maybe consider picking up a couple other bags. Remember, the code is just a box. It's going to be going for 2 weeks, so that promo code is good for one use, 15% off of your order through the 10th. I believe it ends on the 11th. So go and act today, and $40 or more if you buy a bunch of popcorn is free shipping. So, and my dad is super Johnny on the spot about getting those things sent out.
He really is.
So I've been doing some backdoor deals, and I have another sponsor for us. I want to give a big shout out to our second sponsor, Owens Corning Fiberglass Insulation.
Fuck off! God!
Use promo code Stop the Fury for 20% off your first roll of Owens Corning Fiberglass Insulation.
What the fuck? How do you do this shit to me every time?
Sam, I want you to know I was brainstorming for like an hour trying to figure out what fucking company I was going to use for our fake sponsor.
Oh, God.
You can find us on the internet.
So again, that's Stop the Fury for 20% off your first roll of 200 feet of thermobarrier insulation.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm going to fucking deck you whenever I see you. Oh my god. MetalGearMondays.com, Facebook Metal Gear Mondays, Twitter @MetalGearMonday, Patreon.com/MetalGearMondays, Patriot Club, extra podcasts, other things, Discord. Yeah, you get it.
And for real,
Cole,
plug of mine. If you want to watch myself and Chris go through the Gears of War series, myself and Sam marathon through A Way Out, and myself and Cole bumble through Portal 2 co-op, which
it truly
every
is.
third episode his fucking PC dies, and the episode either ends or is interspersed with the sound of my phone ringing, followed by him going, "It happened again." That's on Maverick Rooster on YouTube.
Yeah.
And shout out to these guys for putting up with me for fucking all these hours of. I think Sam and I marathon like 5.5 hours for fucking A Way Out.
Through A Way Out, yeah, in like 5-6 hours. Like it was a lot of fun.
Which that had some of the funniest moments that I've had in a while. So.
Oh, it's so good, so good. Do you want to while we're plugging your stuff? Do you want to tell them the rest of your social stuff?
I'm actually downsizing my social media footprint right now, so I don't know what's going to be up still by the time the episode comes out.
Perfect.
I'd say the only other solid one will be author Zach James on Instagram.
Okay. What about you, Cole? Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at Subterranean Homesick Brews, on Twitter at I am Cole Duncan. Same thing for PSN. And hey, while you are on our Facebook, on Metal Gear Mondays on Facebook, our sweet boy Chris did a really awesome thing where you can give us some feedback directly. Just let us know.
Yeah.
We want to continue to make the show amazing. So just go ahead and drop a line there.
Yep. Chris, what about you?
Let's see. Am I on the internet? Yeah.
What do you know?
He always comes in.
Not
He always
anymore.
comes in.
It's so
He always
weird.
comes in with like that low key comedy where it's just like you're not expecting it, and then he just says something and it's hilarious. It's like,
Find me on eastnashvilleRaybands.com.
find me on
God.
OnlyFans. And, I'm doing a sale.
Oh, that's right.
on
Chris does have an
monthly
OnlyFans now.
He does have an OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah. I do, actually.
OnlyFans.com/ChrisChanRedux.
Yeah, you can just see me dress up like Cloud in the wool market.
He does it.
I'm in the background dressed up like Tifa.
He does it like a fucking 80s montage where he just comes in and out of various fucking cosplay things while Pretty Woman plays.
And Zach is dressed up like Jules.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I've never played a Final Fantasy game. I don't know.
I'll send you a picture later.
Yeah. Are you on the internet, Chris?
Oh, Chris Hampton II. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Proto Dude is PSN and Xbox. Just pop in the Discord. You can find me there too.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Oh, LinkedIn. Yeah, my LinkedIn is just David Hampton.
If you order a chai latte at your local coffee shop and whisper "keep on keeping on" into it, Chris will appear.
No, it's gonna be a dirty chai.
He appears out of the dirty chai.
Yeah.
Not even from
Well,
behind
you
just
have to
pops out
say
of the
"keep
drink.
on keeping on" 3 times, and that's when he appears.
Yeah, he's like
in a dark bathroom mirror. Keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on, keep on keeping on. Ah! And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sanjul. That's SANJUUL. I'm also doing YouTube, and I'm actually making videos on YouTube again. bit.ly/Sam does a thing. I'd appreciate a subscription and for you to watch my shows.
Definitely drop Sam a subscription because he's got some. I fucking watched like the first 20 minutes of that playthrough you did for your Q1 thank you video.
Oh,
Your
my
fucking
God,
commentary was on point, dude. The 10 offensive. This guy wants me to be a janitor. Fuck out of here.
I did with the help of Cole and some other really cool people. I made an Animal Crossing documentary about Zipper the bunny and how he ruined Animal Crossing.
we don't
I need to watch
I don't
this.
speak his name anymore.
It's really good. I'm like I don't like. I'm not a big fan of talking up my shit that I do, but I'm more comfortable doing it because I did it with a bunch of people that are very good, and it was very funny. So I consider watching that. I'm doing other videos. I just bought, if you're looking forward to me ruining my life, I just bought this Carolina Reaper beef jerky that I'm going to eat and then do a video about something. And I hope to receive your continued support.
Jeez. I couldn't handle that heat.
Yep.
Just like I couldn't handle the heat of summer before I installed that Owens Corning fiberglass insulation.
Sam's done.
How great would it be if we fucking MGM got a check for $20,000 from Owens Corning after that?
I think we'll get a bill for liability.
probably get a bill.
Zach, just curious. I'm in the market for some new insulation. Actually,
I know what you're doing, and I'm gonna punch you in the fucking throat. I swear to God.
Well,
So,
Cole,
if I wanted to,
If you use the
if I were to
promo
use-
code Stop the Fury,
Stop the Fury.
you get
Get
20% off your first roll
play us out. What does that even mean? Play us out. Fucking get out of here.
of
I fucking hate you
rain-protected
people.
insulation. From
God damn it.
Owens Corning.
God damn it.
If I were to use the promo code Stop the Fury and ordered some, how would it come?
It would come in just a box.